All right, it is Tuesday night in Tooney Town, and that can only mean one thing. It is time for the fastest rising pro wrestling live stream podcast on the internet today. It is time for Tooney Talk Wrestling. Folks, my name is Marvin, and I am the Movie Monster, and wow, I am so pleased to be back here with you guys. First of all, before we get started, just want a big shout out to producer Neckbeard, man in the chat with all you guys, the heart and soul of this show, the wise man of this show, producer Neckbeard, always on top of everything going on out there in the chat with you all, and we are very, very grateful to have him. But guys, I can't do all of this alone on the air by myself. I mean, that would just be ridiculous. But so joining me right now, somebody who helped pick up the slack last week. You know him, you love him, you probably fear him if you're on his bad side. He is the one and only Kevin Apollo.
Skona, brother, welcome back. Welcome back.
Oh,
welcome
thanks.
back.
Thank you for holding down the fort while I was gone. I appreciate you picking up the slack while I was not present.
Elson, you had important things to do, and I think the chat will agree we had some fun last week.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Hey, Kevo, could you do me one favor though? Could you turn your computer a little bit so I'm not seeing your TV, because that might get us flagged for copyright. As stupid as that sounds, that is a thing that could happen. I've seen that happen to other channels. Also, guys, joining us week, the other guy who picked up the slack while I was gone, who ran the Crown Jewel live stream for you all, the one, the only, the incomparable AEW Disciplinary, aka Dis.
Yay! It feels so good to be back. It really does.
Welcome back, buddy.
It feels so good. How was the honeymoon, sir?
Well, it was quite good. The wedding was it was perfection. I mean,
yeah.
Hold on. I was about to bring Awful on, and then I was going to go through it, but Awful just disappeared from the backstage area, so I don't know what the heck just happened. No, the wedding was perfect. Like, even the stuff I was telling Kev, even the stuff that went wrong, that it went wrong in a way that was not like terrible, and it gave us funny stories to tell.
Yeah.
That's the best kind of thing.
Like The Office. Remember?
Yeah,
That's
pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. And then the honeymoon was fantastic. The ship, I still feel like I'm on the ship at certain points in time. It's getting better, but I definitely got that land sickness where it feels like the world is moving the way the ship was moving. So yeah. I'm looking forward to that ending. But I came back to just a whole lot of busy, because for those of you that don't know, and the reason for my my background here today is I have, as of Saturday, taken the position of editor-in-chief of thatparkplace.com, the pop culture website. And, while it's not a wrestling-related site, we do cover movies and TV and theme parks and all that good fun stuff. So I am dividing my time between the Tooney Town channels and the That Park Place network. And, it's going very well so far. I'm happy with it. It's a dream gig. And yeah, hopefully the site will continue to grow and thrive.
Sorry.
No, guys,
I should have snuck in the Jeffersons theme song while you were away, just for this moment.
We're moving on up. But yeah, I'm sure I would have been called racist for that. But here he is, folks, joining us now. Finally, he's back in the backstage area. Awful Wrestling. You all right there, buddy?
Hey, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we kind of hear you. You're not.
Yeah, but I don't see Marv. My StreamYard's been acting up. I don't know what's going on.
Megatron.
Yeah, you sound like
boy.
It'll get figured out. It always does. Always starts robot and then gets it. He'll get there. He'll get there.
He sounds like the broadcast TV viewing of New Jack City.
No one summons Megatron. No one summons Megatron.
Starscream.
I don't know what's going on.
That makes this Starscream. So look,
am I on point? How's everybody?
Yeah, we're doing all right. We're doing all right. Okay. I want to start this week with something that I'm so unplugged from everything wrestling still. Like, I have not gotten a chance to catch up on everything. And, on the ship, there was like, I could barely get the news. So you guys are going to have to catch me up on a lot of the things that have happened over the last week. But before we do that, we've got some super chats to get to. Our friend John JID 999 checking in for 199, power to the 199, which Awful just learned what that means. AEW / its culture has made me hate modern wrestling. Welcome to the club, buddy. You can now be a 21-year-old man with Kevin and I sitting on the sidelines with our arms crossed, being like, I don't like these kids in their wrestling.
I was so close with John. I was so close to getting him to be like that optimistic, kind of looking at the bright side of things. He started liking Pretty Deadly, and then Awful got his greedy little hands in him, and now he's turned him into another one of him.
Awful is the one that has soured John on the world.
Yes, Awful jaded him. He's getting him in those spaces, taking those kids in those Twitter spaces and corrupting them.
I don't look.
Me and John have been in the back chat. We've been going at it for quite a while.
Or in those Twitter spaces. So. Mike Middleton for $2.79 Canadian says, my wife won't watch Time Cop with me. Do I divorce? Well, absolutely. Time Cop's the greatest movie of all time. Who doesn't love Time Cop? I love Time Cop. Time Cop is a great movie.
Make sure you got that prenup.
For real. Make sure she can't take your copy of Time Cop just to spite you.
Yeah.
Who has physical media nowadays? Cat TV, you do. I know. You've got it all set up for when the world ends. Cat TV for $4.99. Welcome back, Marvin. It might not be as catchy as OTC, but I consider it to be the OOM, only Orange Monster, worth acknowledging. Thank you very much. Yeah, I have put in a request to WW Pro, who owns that Park Place, that my title be changed to Editor in Tribal Chief. So we will see. We'll see how that goes. But yes, they have been acknowledged.
He'll do it
over there. BT23 for $5. Now he won't know what I'm talking about, and he'll look at me like I'm an idiot, like he always does. BT23 for $5 says, I've always wondered if TK has seen Time Cop, and does he know what the movie is about? I've seen it, and it's a watchable JCVD movie.
I believe he thinks it's Terminator, doesn't he? Isn't that the joke?
Yeah, that's the running gag that we have, is that he thinks it's every other time travel movie other than actually Time Cop. It's Bill and Ted, it's Back to the Future, it's Hot Tub Time Machine.
Is it actually a good movie?
It is. It is a good movie.
I've actually never seen it.
Really?
I've never seen it either.
Seen Time Cop. Is it streaming anywhere?
Does it mean we should be doing a members only stream where you guys watch Time Cop for the first time?
Yeah, we should.
That would be awesome.
Over on the Patreon, we just watch Time Cop.
Wait, Tooney should watch Time Cop.
That's a lot of me having my arm in the air.
I'm trying to put Marv to work.
You ruined it.
Yeah, thanks, this.
Hey, I'm all about
Orange Letter Media. That's what we'll call it.
Oh my goodness. John Williams for $1.99, power to the 199, says, welcome back, you Orange SOB, and congrats. Thank you very much, John Williams. I'm a big fan of your music. Cody Duffy for $1.99 says, welcome back, Dis. And yes, welcome back, Dis. I didn't know if we were sharing your situation from last week, so I didn't bring it up.
It's fine. You can. That's no big deal. Yeah, I had to take a little trip back to the hospital, but I'm okay. It's all, normal stuff. Like it's normal for me. I know that it always sounds shocking for other people when you hear somebody's in the hospital, but when you got things wrong with you, it just becomes kind of what you do. And I was there.
So much wrong with you.
I was there not because I was sick. I was there because I needed to be there, I guess is the way to say it. So,
okay. Well, we're all just thankful that you're back together, and you're all the king's horses and all the king's men put you back together again.
Now, yeah,
certainly.
Oh, and by the way, I wanted to thank, also on top of thanking Kev, I wanted to thank Chris Connor from that Last Call podcast, Phil Marks from Pro Wrestle Times, Mission Joe from Wrestling Soup for coming together to kind of form the Kevengers last week. It was such a different show. I didn't get a chance to check out any of it, unfortunately. Unlike when I checked out Tooney Talk TV and I was like, why are you still on? It's after 11. Tuesday was crazy. We found out this was in the hospital, and I'm like freaking out because my friend's in the hospital, and also freaking out because I got to try to find people for the show, and I'm working on limited internet from the ship. So what I'm trying to say, is it was very, very upsetting of you to do that to me.
I felt so bad. You
you should not feel bad at all.
I know. Awful. Do you want to tell what happened? Actually, I think we need to focus.
Yeah, I'll tell you what happened.
But let's
I thought it was kind of funny. Well, I'll say it. I talked to this is mommy. Yeah. She gave me a private chat. So by the weekend we want you gone, Dis. We're going to use your room as a study.
Hey, pal. Hey, champ.
Stepdaddy awful.
Yeah.
What are you doing, stepfather?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I'm doing.
Chris Conner from the Last Call Podcast checking in for $5 says, "Congrats on the honeymoon, Marv. What does Drew McIntyre do next? And should WWE do more Survivor Series 4-on-4 matches instead of 2 War Games matches? I think there should only be 1 War Games match. It cheapens the concept of War Games to have 2 of them. So you decide who has the bigger feud going on right now, the men and the women, and whichever one does, they get the War Games match. The other one, you do a 4-on-4. I am old school. I think the Survivor Series should be all 4-on-4 matches because it made the Survivor Series special. But
right,
it's a weird thing because people get mad. They're like, oh well, it makes War Games less special because they do it yearly. But then if they went back to 5-on-5, then they'd say, well, there's no reason to do 5-on-5, man. They really can't win in that situation. And the best thing to do, I don't know. I do think that they are doing a Survivor Series match. I think they're going to do the NXT girls as a Survivor Series match this year.
Have they announced yet? I have not checked. Have they announced a women's War Games match?
They set it up last night. They didn't announce it, but they set it up.
And who's it going to be?
It was the jankiest setup of all time. Yeah, I mean, it was awful.
It's like,
yeah. Why is Io Sky now just suddenly teaming up with Bianca Belair? It's so rushed, and we might be starting to see some cracks in Triple H's formula here because I'm starting to notice repetition. In his programming.
You know what? It probably. I wouldn't be shocked if it was he was not planning on doing a women's War Games match, and then somebody was like, "The storm that will brew if we do not."
Yeah.
Women. I don't think it helps that Rhea's face exploded at a very inopportune time.
Can I give my theory on it? It's that the 5-on-5 NXT women's match that we saw last week, Triple H was originally going to put that as the War Games match, and someone said we can't do an NXT women's War Games match. We have to do a main roster War Games match.
Man, they should have just gone with the NXT women. That would have been amazing.
That match was so
actually
good.
We've got actual footage of what would happen from the AEW fans if Triple H hadn't done a women's War Games match.
Sweet music. Such sweet music.
I know you love it. Miss October 30 says, "It's October, bitches. I finished my externship and I have 3 weeks left in my program. Congratulations, friend. That is amazing.
All right.
You are going to make those smiles sparkle out there in the world. We are very, very proud of you." I love our audience. I love getting to know our audience. It's such
all
great
professionals.
Yeah, seriously. We've got a really tremendous crowd that comes here every week, and new people coming every single week. We got more people tuning in constantly, and I just have to work on getting more content for you guys because you guys deserve everything, and I just need to have either 2 of me or that would be something, or just somehow find a way to have a time turner like Hermione Granger. I'm rereading Harry Potter right now. Tyler Galinsky says, "Yeah, Daddy Marvin home back." Yes, he is. Oh my goodness. Thank you very much, Tyler Galinsky. Power the 199. MJG for $199.99 since I saved $250,000 as an attempt to buy WrestleNomics went unanswered. I want to thank you all for your content, entertainment, and congrats to Marv on all the big life changes. It's not $250K, but here's something. Wow, man! If you do manage to buy WrestleNomics, we need to talk because I want you to set up this and Awful as basically like the forward-facing people for WrestleNomics, because that would just make everything complete.
That would be
man.
Considering we already do Brandon Thurston's
I'd fulfill that duty beautifully.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I gotta find a clip to play for this super chat. Thank you so much, man. It's I'll give you a little. And
all I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind. Everybody hands go up, and they stay there, and they stay there.
And you know what? Just because I love it so much. Yo ho, brother. Thank you, MJ.
That was for you,
really,
MJ.
Really appreciate you. Yes. John J8999 for $199 says Awful recreates Chappelle's trading spouses skit.
Oh, gee.
with This Is Mom? Yeah.
We mean it this Friday afternoon, my friend.
You could sing the song from Family Guy. My black, oh no, that's right. It's My Black Son, not.
Yeah.
Never mind. You're black. This isn't. Now I'm caught up.
Yeah,
it's been a long day, guys. I was on Morning Magic this morning with that Park Place. I was on the Pro Show, and then I was on that Game Place, and I had to do articles and edit other people's articles and get the show ready. So it's been a bit of a day as I try to figure out my new schedule with.
All right, so sit back and relax. Let the other three men take care of it. All right, let's do this.
That is not in my nature.
Wait a second. Awful, you're black. When did that happen?
About 6 weeks ago.
Oh,
he got really into tanning
yeah,
summer, and just got away from him.
He tried to go orange and went too far.
Me and Adam Cole.
You and Cumia for $5 says, when will Mrs. Monster join the chat? That's not going to happen. If you guys think I'm opinionated, that's not going to happen. And John Williams for $199, power to the 199 says, did Blackball try to attack you on your honeymoon? There was a pirate night, and I kept like wishing that I had somebody around me to make the yo ho brother joke too, because all night all I kept thinking of was. By the way, that is an exact representation of what the ship did the first night of the cruise.
Oh, really?
Oh my God!
It's the ship's a rockin', brother.
Oh, come on, knock it. Yeah, no, it was bad the first night. I don't know if it was the wind or if they were just hauling butt to get to the first port. But man, oh man, like I had the wristbands on, I took Dramamine, and I still had to like lay face down in the bed and just be like, oh my God, this needs to stop. It pretty much ruined the first night of dinner for me, but the rest of the cruise was great.
Did you do okay? So when
Jesus, take the wheel.
Pretty much.
When I went on my cruise, I did the thing where I brought a shirt that I can't remember what the shirt. Oh, it was the WWE. It was the NES Pro Wrestling shirt, like the game with the pro wrestling on it, you know. I brought that, and then I brought one wrestling shirt. And my thought was, my first 2 nights, I'm going to wear those shirts, and I'm going to attract everyone that I might want to talk to on the ship to me, and then I'll have my crew for the ship. And it worked. Mm-hmm. It was really neat.
Awesome. I had a little. I almost brought my I'm a Jim Cornette guy shirt, which is one of 3 wrestling shirts I've ever owned in my life. I had so when I was a kid, I had an NWO Wolfpack shirt. It was the only wrestling shirt I ever had. And as an adult, I got the I'm a Jim Cornette guy shirt, and this actually sent me a shirt as a wedding gift. it is a
very nice
red shirt. It is a red shirt with black lettering that I did bring on the cruise and I did wear, and it said Doctor Who on it, and everyone just thought it was a Doctor Who shirt, but it is in fact a Dr. D Dave Schultz t-shirt.
That's the secret. That's the secret.
Yes.
Nice.
I kept waiting to see if anybody was going to be like Dave Schultz, but it didn't happen.
It was the ship captain.
Yeah. If I saw after that first night, if I saw the captain, it would have been a reenactment of Dave Schultz and John Stossel in the hallways. I was cursing his name. My God. All right, guys, we got some wrestling to talk about. I see more super chats coming in. We will get to them. I promise we leave no super chat behind on this show, but we have got quite a bit to talk about tonight. I want to start with something that I saw that actually really delighted me, and that is that Piledrivers are effective again. Who knew? Whereas in one company, a 90-pound man in jeans with his hands in his pockets gets pile driven 3 times on the steel steps and then nips up and does a lackluster comeback. Randy Orton, an actual man-sized man, took one pile driver in the ring and was carted away for it. Bravo.
So good. It was such a good
Bravo.
The selling by Corey Graves and Michael Cole was like Corey Graves was speechless. He was acting like someone died in the ring. Like it was perfect.
Was it as like hushed whisper as like the AEW commentators when they murdered Daniel Bryan?
Well, like Corey even brought up like his neck injury and how it ended his career, and now he's like, I might not like Randy Orton, but this is you can't do this. We can't do. Why are we? At one point, he's like, "Why are we showing the replay? Why get the camera off the ring?" Like he was very serious about it. Mm-hmm. They played it perfectly.
The best part about this is that TikTok moms are asking if Randy Orton is actually hurt.
Oh, really?
Then it's working.
Yep.
They've done a phenomenal job. It again, just like this said, it's a blending of the visual and the audio. Mm-hmm. A lot of things are taken away when you're trying to do a Canadian destroyer and you have Excalibur talking about the next match that's going to be showing up on the screen. There's no impact, and I've said that we've all said it.
It was worse.
No impact.
They had 2, I can't think of their names, doing a stupid cartwheel spot down the ramp that ended in a terrible destroyer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The destroy. By the way, they have Petey Williams is owed reparations by AEW because they have taken his move and the thing that he was known for, and just completely and utterly decimated it.
Bastardized it.
Nothing anymore. It's one of the most devastating looking moves in the history of wrestling. And they have taken it and just made it pointless. And then one pile driver.
It's one of those finishers. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Des.
I was going to say, do you remember the first time you saw it?
I was just about to say that.
Oh, sorry.
It's one of those finishers that you remember the first time you saw it. And
Me too. I remember it.
And then the indies came. So I won't blame this all on AEW. But, oh my God, did the indies destroy the destroyer?
That move and the vertebreaker. I remember the first time I saw the vertebreaker.
Yep. Remember
that was Shane Helms was doing the vertebreaker, right? Or was it did Homicide do it first?
Sugar Shane did it first.
Sugar Shane.
Back in like 99.
That is a very dangerous move.
Yeah, he says nobody should do it. He does not like people doing it.
Help me out, gentlemen. What's the vertebreaker again?
So you've got the guy, like the guy's bent over, and you have your back to him.
Oh my!
The head goes between the legs from behind. This is gonna sound really bad if it's not a.
Yeah, boy, it's starting off on a wrong foot here.
You grab the two
really
arms.
Exciting. Keep it going.
You grab the 2 arms, and then you like rotate it so that you then pick the guy up on your back with his head facing down, and then you drop.
Okay, gotcha.
Homicide,
I know that move.
Homicide used to do it too. He called it the 187, or the cop killer was what it was called.
Gotcha. If you're listening, honey, I'm going to put that move on you tonight.
That's like party.
My mom's not even here. Awful. Leave her alone.
You know what? I'll probably get us copyrights. Maybe if I can find a homicide version. Let's say I just found like a Hurricane Helms vertebreaker.
They'll
Clip.
smash it even if you show a WCW one.
Yeah. Did they? I mean, they do Smoky Mountain, so of course, you know. I mean, did they? Does it have the song? That's the best part. He made a pop song called Vertebreaker.
Did he really?
Vertebreaker.
Okay.
Oh my God, Kevin knows it.
I know the entirety of the 3 count song.
Me too.
Shucks.
I know all the words to the West Texas Rednecks. I hate rap. Rap is crap.
Me too. We just need to do WCW karaoke one night.
WCW Okie. Hold on. I found a video to demonstrate what the vertebreaker is. Hold on. So here we go. Homicide TNA.
All right.
Just got turned inside out, upside down. Bad landing on his head.
Yep. Okay, gotcha. Oh boy.
It was a big deal when WWE banned the move.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shane Helms did not do it very long in his WWE stint.
Yeah, Vince was like, "What the hell?" and you know, because you were gonna have the Hurricane go out there and try to do it, you know, to The Rock, and that's a lot of investment going out the window. But yeah, I mean, there was a while where Piledrivers in, like, even the Tombstone was no longer allowed. Right?
It wasn't allowed except for when Undertaker really, really wanted to do it. Right? Isn't that how it goes? I mean,
during the American Badass, that's when he started doing the last ride.
Yeah, he would do it like once a year at WrestleMania. It was, you know, and every one of them looked like he was dropping them on top of his knees. It was always very, very safe. So
no, the single worst yet safest tombstone of all time. Kevin, apology. You know where I'm going with this?
Oh, actually, yes, I do know where you're going with it.
Tell me, which one am I thinking of?
I was too busy reading wanting to respond to Erica because yes, I too also know all of the words to Ass Man.
Oh, me too. anyone who got WWE the music, WWF the music Volume 4 and didn't learn all the words to Ass Man, I don't know what kind of person you are.
What does he even mean when he says he likes to pick them? What is he like?
He likes to pick them, and he's gonna kick them because he's an ass man.
Yeah.
But the worst tombstone of all time was Kane to Linda McMahon, where she was like up by his belly button.
She might as well have just been on his back.
Yeah.
He gave her a slight headache.
The best is he does the safest tombstone ever, and then leaves her laying on the stage, because this was during my favorite feud of all time, Shane McMahon versus Kane. Which, my God, was that feud perfect. But then the agents all come out and swarm around Linda, and you just hear Arn Anderson go, "What did he choke slammer?" I was like, "Bravo, Arn, you contributed to this."
I was in the back loading my 9. Getting prepared for carjacking. What happened?
Goodness gracious. Oh man, yeah, I'm done flaunting my new job in my background right now. Go back to flaunting my current job, my other job, which is this. But yeah, that feud, man, that feud had such moments. That is one of my top 5 wrestling feuds of all time. It like between
what made it so damn special?
It was ridiculous. From when Shane tackled him into the dumpster that was on fire, when Kane electrocuted his testicles with the car battery, when he put him in the car and then sent it careening at the tractor trailer,
which made the opening credit sequence.
I'll never forget. I was at my buddy's house and we were watching that, and his dad walks in the room and he sees them do that, and he goes, "My God, they have a lot of money to burn over there."
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. goodness. Yeah, it was. What would you say your top, like, let's say top 3 feuds of all time? Because for me, it's Undertaker and Kane, Shane and Kane, and Tommy Dreamer and Raven.
Good picks. Good picks.
Yeah, I can't even pretend to want to put that down to 3. But maybe I'll do one from each company. Yeah, that's how I'll do it. Okay. So Austin McMahon.
Yeah.
DDP Goldberg, because that match is amazing. And Taz and
Bam Bam.
Oh man. I don't know if I want to say Tajiri or Shane Douglas.
Oh. I don't remember Taz and Tajiri.
Taz and Tajiri is only super special because Taz cuts one of my favorite Taz promos where he says he'll slap it on sideways for his people back home.
I like seeing what everybody's saying in the chat right now. Erica said Undertaker Mankind the first time.
What are they saying?
Ernest Cruz says Bruno and Zbyszko, Flair and Dusty, Kurt and Sean, Taz and Tajiri had a great pay-per-view match. Yeah, I agree. This is,
not bad.
What do you got for your favorite feuds?
Oh yeah, Macho Man.
Man, there's 2 for WWF. It's Brett and Shawn and Hogan and Savage. For WCW, I mean, I love the Ric Flair Steamboat rivalries. For ECW, damn, I'll tell you what, the Pitbull Shane Douglas thing program was like just red hot. I mean, you can't, really, you can't get more obvious than that. And what other for AEW? Tony Khan versus America. Yeah, that's a good one.
This, what do you got? One from each company.
Favorite feuds? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. My favorite feud of all time was Hulk Hogan versus Macho Man Randy Savage. Period.
Okay.
Yeah.
Case closed. It's up until the Bloodline, I think it was the greatest story ever told in wrestling. In WCW, it would have to be just the NWO, the whole NWO, the Hogan Sting, the build up to that. It didn't have the payoff at the end. I've gone back since and I've seen stuff that I like better. Obviously, Flair Steamboat, Flair Sting. I love Flair Sting, but Flair Terry Funk. But in terms of something I lived through at the time and I have nostalgia for, it would have to be Hogan and Sting, just because that was kind of my height of wrestling fandom.
Hogan
ECW,
and go ahead.
ECW, it's Tommy Dreamer and Raven.
I mean, greatest story ever told.
But I'm going to add an amendment because nobody talks about this. TNA, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, and AJ Styles.
Yes.
I could watch any one of those matches over and over again, and they were fantastic.
You're not taking Russo Dusty?
I liked Gifted Glenn Gilberti versus Eric Watts personally.
Oh my goodness. So if I would do one for each company, so I'm gonna pick Taker and Kane for WWF. Obviously Tommy Dreamer and Raven for ECW, but I would probably then for WCW, it's DDP and Macho Man.
Oh.
That feud.
Yeah, they had a red hot feud.
Red hot. And I love the story that DDP tells when he was sitting in the back and they were having the match at, I don't remember, I think it might have been Spring Stampede or something like that. It was at the blow off, and Savage had creative control. So Arn Anderson walks up to him and he goes, all right, Mach, what do you want to do tonight? He goes, he looks at Paige and he goes, I think I want to take the diamond cutter. When Savage was basically like, tonight's your night, kid. With Hogan and Sting,
Grandpa.
Obviously, Hogan and Sting is, has a special place in my heart because I love Sting. That version of Sting is my favorite wrestler of all time, pretty much. But there were just such goofy moments in that feud from the payoff getting completely blown, which
a lot of drama, little heat, if you ask me. A lot of drama, little heat.
You got no tan, brother. What the hell?
Yeah, and then when you know that,
yeah. But then the thing that no one remembers is J.J. Dillon had a series of ridiculous promos with Sting.
I remember
when he would come out and he'd be like, Sting, I've got an idea for a match for you. It's gonna be you and Kevin Nash. And the crowd would boo and Sting would shake his head and he'd be like, I don't understand, Sting. What do you want? Tell me. And the fans would be chanting Hogan, Hogan, Hogan.
Right.
And JJ Dillon's like, I don't understand what you're trying to tell me. And they did it like 4 times. Every time.
Is this when Sting was pulling out the bat?
Yeah.
At one point, I'm pretty sure Sting took an actual picture of Hogan from the crowd and held it up in front of J.J. Dillon's face.
No, he pointed
just
it back.
Like, yeah, he was just like, I can't see you, Sting. This picture of Hogan's in my face. Are you trying to tell me who you want to wrestle?
We brought it up before. That era of WCW had such hokey stuff. The Piper, when Piper was feuding with Hogan, and he's like, he wasn't good. He wanted one match, and he got his match, and then they wanted to fight for the title, and he kept saying he wasn't going to come back and fight for the title because it wasn't about the title. It was about more than the title, and he just wanted his one match, and he beat him, and it's over. And then somebody ran in from the crowd and threw a videotape at the play-by-play booth, and they're like, well, we got to put it on. So they played the videotape, and it was Piper's terrible music video. And they showed the whole video, and the reason they showed the whole video was because at the very end there was a marquee that said Piper versus Hogan. And they're like, oh, he's been thinking about this since 1992. They built the entire return of Piper off of a cheesy British music video that he made in 1992.
I remember that. Oh, my God.
Was it produced by Simon Cowell?
Yes, it was.
Oh, my God in
by the
heaven.
way, if you want me to sing that. We need to find that song. We need to find that video. That was a good song.
All right, guys. So the Piledriver is once again back. It is just an incredible move that now they need to not ever do again. Because if you think about it, if you drop a guy directly onto the top of his head, it's gonna have that reaction. And I think this was Triple H reclaiming some of the realism of wrestling from the indies and just being like, no, there's a time and place where old school stuff actually still makes sense. And I commend him for it.
And when does it not work? You know what I mean? Like, when does doing that not work? It's always worked in professional wrestling. Why not do it?
Remember when Funk pile drove Flair on the table and he was out for like a year?
Do I? That was amazing, and the table didn't even break.
Yeah.
No, the leg broke. The leg broke, and they both fell.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people are talking. Not a lot of people are talking either about this. Is the redemption of Kevin Owens here? His character is it's right back to where this is NXT Kevin Owens. This is like ROH versus Jim Cornette Kevin Owens. Like, that's the Kevin Owens we're getting, and I wanted that for so long.
Yeah.
I've been so torn because I think WWE programming has been pretty what's the word I'm looking for? It's been consistent.
Paint by numbers.
Yeah. It hasn't been bad, but it hasn't been great either. And I feel like they've been stuck in They've been stuck in second gear because of stupid Crown Jewel, which always messes everything up. But the big stories that need to have big moments have gotten them. It's everything else where you're like, well, what's the point?
Right.
So it's like, yes, like SmackDown has been pretty awesome. But like, I don't know, I was just kind of chuckling like last week, like, what do we even talk about? Nothing's happened. And this week I'm like, nothing's even happened. But I forgot about the Piledriver. I'm like, can we get to Survivor Series and get this over with, please?
The Survivor Series is away.
Now, on the other side of the whole Piledriver issue is the Blue Sky people now, who are trying to make it out like it's the new Twitter. All the AEW fans went to Blue Sky, and they're trying to pretend like
I thought Twitter felt nicer.
Yeah, and they are being like, "Oh, Orton is such a pussy." Look at that. Can you believe WWE is making a big deal out of a Piledriver? We get Piledriver. Like, they're playing into their criticism. They they don't understand that that's why we're making fun of them.
Yes, AEW self-owns are the best. It's amazing when they own themselves. It's probably my favorite thing. But by the way, awful. I think you need to go to Blue Sky just to piss them all off.
Oh, he's there.
I'm already there, my friend.
Yes,
indeed.
Unless I am forced to go there, I will not be there.
Dude, I just go in there for a cup of coffee. Like, I go in there and I'm like, there is nothing going on in this dead space. It's a terrible platform. There's nothing going on, and it truly is a safe space. Like if you're blocked, it's over for you. Like, no one can see your stuff, and most of all, you get no money out of it. So what's the point? Kind of like what that particular faction of people do. Give you promises and don't give you nothing.
Oh my God, it sounds like a nightmare.
It's AEW fans. It's really, every time I go there, all I see is AEW fans, and they're all like, "It's so much better. We don't have to deal with WWE fans." And it's like, okay, you guys have fun. Like, I never care.
Now they gotta look at each other and be like, "What are we talking about?"
Yeah, have your echo chamber. Have your echo chamber and deal with all that stuff over there. I'm very, very happy for you. Because here's the thing, I'm just going to enjoy the peace and quiet for maybe like the next couple of weeks, because eventually this is going to peter out and they're all going to be right back on X.
Their podcast numbers are going to go down and they'll all be back.
Yep. So, that's the thing. Like I think you said it awful. Like, remember when everybody or no, Dis, you said this. You said, remember when everybody tried to escape big bad evil Facebook by going to Google Plus.
Yeah. Google Plus, Truth Mobile, Threads. They always come back. It always,
Yeah.
So.
Yep. All right, some super chats. BT23 for $5 saying, noticing that Raw is doing tapings on same nights. Could this be a problem down the road for ratings? I'm not sure what he means here.
During because Raw is 2 hours now. But this week it's because they're giving them time off for their holiday. Like, they're giving them time off for Thanksgiving. I don't think it's going to be a regular thing, and it's definitely not going to be a regular thing when they go back to 3 hours on Netflix.
Are they going back to 3 hours on Netflix? Is that a thing that's happening? Because I really like 2 hour Raw.
Both shows are going to be 3. Actually, I'm kind of for it. I liked the 2 hours at first, but they have too big of a roster for 2 hours. They need to do a lot of cuts
and cut. Make cuts.
It's they're going. They said it's at least going to be 3 hours of content, so it might just be that they program through commercials. I don't know.
Do a 1 hour pre-show and then give me 2 hours.
That'd be okay. But yeah, they're going back to 3, and I really think that this whole period where their contract is on USA for 4 months, it just feels like a lame duck period. You know what I mean? Like, It doesn't even seem like they're trying on Raw right now. Like, they're just trying to get through the contract and get to Netflix. And get, so that's kind of how it feels to me.
Right. So what does he mean that they're doing tapings on same nights?
They did Raw. They taped Raw after the live show last night.
Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense. Yeah, because they're giving people off for Thanksgiving. What a novel concept. What was that awful?
Everybody was bent on like spoiling the whole thing. Like, I noticed they're doing that now with AEW Dynamite. It's just like, next 3 weeks this is going to happen. I'm not going to say what is happening, but they everybody to a man is just like, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. It's just like, well, way to go for taking out of even crap.
I'm sure he's making a great point right now. But
I love awful.
I don't speak Cybertron, so.
I'll say, I know what he was saying. You want me to say what he was saying real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
He was saying that people on Twitter or X for a long time were very protective anytime there were Dynamite or Collision spoilers, but they seem to have no problem giving away WWE spoilers.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, it's hypocrisy. That's the. Regina Shop for $5 says just
That's
want to
not
say
what I'm saying.
congratulations. Regina Shop for $5 says just wanted to say congratulations and welcome back. Also, Glom Gold. My favorite. Whenever somebody requests that clip, I get very, very happy. You know what? I like it so much it's going to happen again. Did you ever start DuckTales?
No, so we were going to this weekend, and then Max got so caught up in Cobra Kai that I couldn't.
I can't fault him for that. That show is fantastic.
And we're on the Terry Silver season, so he is.
Oh, wait! Have you watched it already?
I've seen all the way. I've seen everything up until the newest season. I saved that for Max.
Okay.
The Terry Silver, man, they.
So you're on the first Terry Silver season, or
yes.
are you on the one where Terry Silver is the primary?
I'm on the first. Now I've seen the primary. The biggest thing that I can't believe that they redeemed that character the way they did. Like they made him mean something in this because he was such a terrible character. Yeah, in the movies he was so unnecessary in the movies, but in the show, man, he is awesome.
I love how they made him just the root of all evil, and they like played it all up. As like with him being like, man, I was on a lot of drugs in the 80s. I spent an entire summer trying to destroy a teenager.
The way that he made all his money in the movies was that he had a business that polluted the ocean. Like that's all they did.
Yep. Give me money and I'll pollute the ocean. Mr. Jamie Jam for $4.99 says, fun fact, the pile driver on Orton is knocking on 1 million views on YouTube for a pile driver. 1 million views. That's something.
Moves get over.
They do. Awful. You're back and you sound good.
Awesome.
You sound wonderful.
Yeah. But now
made a little location change. That's all.
Yeah. Daniel Flores for $1.99 says Tony versus Coke as feud of the year. Cat TV for $1.99 says Angle and Joe in TNA. That was a surreal one for me because I couldn't believe, as somebody who was a Ring of Honor fan, like back in the early 2000s, I couldn't believe I was seeing Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe.
Yeah, that one. Man, I remember at first too, you kind of got disappointed. Like it happened and you were so excited that it happened, but then it kind of felt like Taz and Kurt, right? Like the first time it happened, it felt like Taz and Kurt, where it's like, it was great, but it also wasn't quite what you wanted it to be. And there was that fear that this was just going to be it, but it wasn't it. And they were able to ride that thing out and get where it needed to be. By the time they had that kind of like MMA style, that's the only time I've ever seen an MMA style match work in pro wrestling was between Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe.
Yeah, I agree. Miss October 30 for $1.99. Power to the 199 says, I'm going to throw hands at Awful's mic. I think you might have to get in line because Awful's going to throw hands at it first.
Yeah, you're damn right I am.
John JID 999 for $1.99. Power to the 199 says, the last 15 minutes of the Penguins, so good. Wow. And yes, we got to talk about that, John, on Thursday night on Tooney Talk TV. Because man, was that good. I mean, it's probably the one show that I'm like, that was it's as good as Cobra Kai is.
Everybody's raving about this show, and I gotta get on the yo ho ho, brother, to watch it.
Yeah, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it, and you know. It was just quintessentially good, and I'm not going to bore our wrestling fans with talk of TV and movie stuff, but we will be discussing it Thursday night at 8 p.m. on Tooney Talk TV. So stick around for there. Just like when people ask wrestling questions on Tooney Talk TV, I say stick around for Tuesday night on Tooney Talk Wrestling, and we'll talk about it there. So I like to keep things in their place.
Yeah, that's why you're a separatist. I know that about you.
Yes, the channels are very much siloed. Like when I'm in the mode for one, I don't want to hear about the other.
It's separate but equal. That's how it works.
Yes, of course. That's always how it works, right? No, is that not historically how that's worked out?
I'm not making no comment.
The Tooney Talk Wrestling drinking fountains are really warm, though. I will say that.
Makes sense. CWJ 128 for $2 says Raw demo 0.49, AEW demo 1.6. So much for a takeover. Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, the demo is meaningless. But
we could talk about that. We could
about what?
About NXT versus AEW last Wednesday.
We will talk about that. That is on the list of things to talk about. So the key demo is just the stupidest thing. Because Meltzer himself said, within the last couple of years, like, oh, well, ratings is more than just one demo. It's about overall viewership. And now all of a sudden it's the key demo is the be all end all because it's convenient.
Hey, you go where the bread is buttered, pal. You go where the money goes and where the fans want you to go to. And he doesn't want to lose even a third of his subscriber base based on that damn tweet that he did a couple years back. So he's got to backtrack. He's got to make that. He's got to make good.
We've all got that tweet saved, and we all love to post it. So, JPS for $5. Raw may look bad now, but it's a whole lot better than it was 2 years ago. He's got a point.
It's true.
He's got a point. Yep, and he also says Glom Gold.
Glom Gold, Glom Gold, Glom Gold, Glom Gold.
Sorry, I mean they paid for it. You got to get it. It's an excellent way to spend $5 is to get the Flint Hunt Glom Gold chant. But yeah, it is so much better than it was 2 years ago. I mean, like you look at what's the year that everybody says is like the worst year of Raw? It was like 2019.
Yep, 2019.
Like, no, this is like 2019 Raw bad.
2019.
2022 was not bad. It wasn't bad.
Vince was at his Vinciest.
2022 was that the eye for an eye match?
No, come on now.
No, they were still in the Thunderdome for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was 20. Okay, so like 19 through 21 were the dark ages because he had that's when he had the Hell in a Cell with Seth and Bray, and he had the
JPS. We're giving your $5 back because you were wrong. It wasn't it was right on par with what's going on today. Really,
no, it's way better than it's still better than 2 years ago. It's still better than 2 years ago. I mean, it wasn't
2 years ago. Roman Reigns was on top. Cody Rhodes was chasing CM Punk. No, he showed up last year. Never mind. Yeah, you're right. But even still, things were looking up. I mean, it was a great show. I mean, now he's talking about 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, I'll agree with you all day long.
Right.
Sorry.
It's all good, my friend. All right, so let's talk a bit about NXT versus AEW. The ECW.
Creamed them.
Good Lord, did they ever?
Told them. They came into their house and shat in the middle of the kitchen. That's what they did.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I mean, I believe
one in a landslide.
Hold on, I think I've got an article here from Forbes.
The argument keeps being that, like, Dave, the big thing, they have 9% more homes. Yeah, they won by like 30%. So you can't use that argument.
All right, so give him the 9. Give him the 9, and they won by 21%.
I laugh because again, where was that? Whatever SmackDown was on Fox Sports. Mm-hmm. It's like, what are you talking about, you bleeping doofus?
He's amazing.
All right, so let's take a look over here at Forbes. WWE Dynamite again as AEW sinks to 523,000 viewers. This is written by our friend Alfred Canua of Pro Wrestling Bits, who is a contributor to Forbes, and we love him for it. So let's see. WWE NXT defeated AEW Dynamite head-to-head yet again, continuing a head-to-head streak that dates back to October of 2023. WWE NXT drew 619,000 viewers, a 0.17 in the 18 to 49 demo, for its special ECW-themed broadcast from the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, also known as the ECW Arena. AEW Dynamite, main evented by a tag team match featuring Ricochet and Will Hobbs' surprise return, garnered 523,000 viewers and a 0.16 in the 18 to 49.
a 10-woman tag featuring 3 brand new women. One of them, I think, was in like her second match in WWE, and a TNA wrestler beat Ricochet. And okay, and all their big guys. It wasn't even a good show. It wasn't.
Let's be fair. Let's be fair. The ECW thing probably had a lot to do with it, because that is a thing that'll draw AEW fans away from AEW. Is you dangle ECW in front of them.
Yeah.
As Marv, as God is my witness, bro, I didn't feel the magic in those promos leading up to the ECW arena. Like I saw what they were trying to do, but I'm shocked, quite frankly, that they were able to garner the viewership that they did based on the ECW thing. I understand that there's a lot of lapsed fans out there, probably had nostalgia, but at the same time, it was just like, it didn't present itself as good as it could have been.
I was going to say, if anybody who put that on hoping for an ECW thing, they probably walked away more irritated than anything, because that was a crappy ECW episode.
It really felt like it. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was saying, but they could have put anything on. It could have been Martha Stewart washing dishes on NXT. That show was always going to do better than AEW was going to. So
interesting.
AEW beat WWE, I believe, for 1/4 hour, and it was the first one. It was by 1,000 viewers. And
can I say that the one thing that I think that we need to remember when it comes to why you didn't feel that ECW magic is because Paul Heyman was not involved in the build up to this.
No,
if you had Paul Lee cutting promos about that bingo hall in Philadelphia, you would have felt it.
This was HBK's version of ECW. This is how Shawn Michaels thought ECW was like. That's how I kept feeling the whole time, like exploding bricks and
sponge bricks.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
And then the 10-woman tag was fire. I really liked that, the main event. And those girls are gonna change this business, man. That I am a believer in those NXT girls. Especially
which ones don't you believe in this?
No, I'm saying I never had a really opinion on them either way, but now that I've seen it, I buy into the hype. I buy the.
You know who I'm not buying? Julia. Oscar 2.0.
No, I like Julia, but it's Zarya. Zarya is the one, man. Is it Zarya? Zarya. She's the one. She's going to be the one that everyone's going to be paying attention to. She is insane. And she's captivating. The second she came on screen, Max, who does not care about women's wrestling at all, was glued to that screen for her. She has something, and like Jordan Grace, if I was Jordan Grace, I would be crying right now. Because
Jordan Grace has a place. She's got a place in the ring. Okay. Zarya did not really.
Yes, she does.
She'll be there in January. Just you wait.
Yeah.
I'll tell you where her place is.
but
she's got to switch it up a little bit and be a bulldog a little bit. You know what I mean? Because she's got that stature.
But it's so cool that we can have these conversations, and we can. It's not just like something that we're not thinking of. It's not something that's in the back. It's something that is in the forefront, and that I really was impressed by that 10-woman tag, and the ones that have been there for a long time really held their own too. That was the closest thing that they got to actually ECW, and that includes having Bully Ray or Bubba Ray. He was Bubba Ray Dudley that night, but that includes having him there. The Nunzio spot was cool. I liked
Nunzio was there.
What did
I have seen nothing from it.
What did you think of Wes Lee versus Offset?
Yeah. Javon's not ready.
Flippity floppity floop.
Yeah, Javon's not there. He's gonna need a lot of time. But Nunzio, they did a whole spot with Tony D'Angelo where he kind of passed the torch of the FBI stuff. It was neat. It was neat.
That's very cool. That is very cool. I like when
it wasn't that cool, guys.
It was.
I like. Did they call him Nunzio or did they call him Little Guido?
That was Nunzio.
Oh, Nunzio.
Yeah, Nunzio. Yeah.
Well, that's
by the way. You can call him Little Guido. We don't care.
It's also
We're okay with it.
He's in TNA and he goes by Nunzio in TNA. So I imagine there was some crossover there too, where he he wanted to play the same character.
It beats what they called Leo Rush back in the day.
Yeah. It beats what Excalibur called Human Tornado back in the day.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my.
So Forbes says, Alfred says over on Forbes, NXT had defeated AEW in its previous 3 head-to-head battles, which happened in October of this year and last year. Its latest win extends that streak to 3. In NXT and AEW's previous head-to-head broadcast, AEW drew a scary low 329,000 viewers for Title Tuesday against 874 viewers for WWE NXT. Now, NXT relied heavily on ECW nostalgia for its specialty show, with appearances from ECW originals Rhino. Oh, good for Rhino. RVD, the Dudley Boys, FBI, and Dawn Marie. Van Dam interacted with Kalani Jordan, who noted RVD was her favorite wrestler growing up. The 53-year-old Hall of Famer later got physical with Wes Lee as he gave the rub to up-and-comer Javon Evans. Stars of the past giving the rub to NXT stars was a theme of this night. A surprising Ridge Holland pinfall on Ridge Holland led to a Dudley Boys reunion. Trick, Bubba, and Devon Dudley then put Ethan Page through a table. Oh, Devon, was Devon looking okay?
Yeah, Devon looked pretty good. You can tell his hips bother him, but it looked pretty good.
Yeah, because he couldn't. I had the Hall of Fame, like he couldn't walk, right?
I think he had just had surgery.
Yeah. Oh, okay. AEW Dynamite had some nostalgia of its own, albeit unintentionally. The show opened with the Hurt Syndicate, formerly known as the Hurt Business. MVP Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin carried more aura into an AEW building than any star since CM Punk. The trio of former WWE stars was seen as bigger stars than most AEW talent, and fans chanted for MVP before he even spoke a word. The Hurt Syndicate looks to recruit select black talent, including Max Caster and most recently Ricochet. MVP has been giving his business card to talent of late, like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Black Story. Kane and all.
They so over-explained that, man. They spent like 10 minutes for MVP to just say exactly what everyone already knew he's been doing for the past 3 weeks. But they had to spell it out.
Black talent?
No, where it's like, I will give you my business card. If you accept, then you will join the Hurt Syndicate. If you don't, then we will kill you. That's what you've already been doing for 3 weeks. You don't need to tell us you're doing it. You're already doing it.
My name is Montel Vontavious Porter. I go by MVP. I used to be in WWE, but now I'm here because of this, that, and the other thing. Chris Jericho and I used to have a problem with each other, but now we're okay.
Well, MVP did what you're supposed to do. Yeah. Because they don't tell anybody anything on that stupid show. So like we know, but if you're, an AEW fan who's never watched anything, and I feel bad for that person, who's only ever watched AEW, or if you are a lapsed person who just happened to land there because you saw MVP standing in the ring, he brought you up to speed on why he's not where you're used to seeing him anymore.
True.
And then the only weak thing about the promo was Swerve.
Boy, oh boy, thank God you said it.
I do not understand this obsession in that company to have some runt come out and do fake tough guy voice.
Fake mean face.
With fake mean face, and then stand there like you accomplished something.
Well, because they don't have any actual badasses. The reason why Stone Cold Steve Austin...
Like he cooked, as the kids say.
No, at the end of the day, they don't have any actual badasses. The reason Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Undertaker were badasses in the ring, the reason Dave Schultz was a badass, is because those men are badasses.
Mm-hmm.
AEW's biggest badass is Jon Moxley, who gets choked out by soccer dads on the weekends, and the next best thing is James Murray from Impractical Jokers.
I sent something to Awful today that I will be releasing tomorrow that will open a lot of eyes about how popular Swerve is and how much people take him seriously.
Boy, let me tell you something. It is a fantastic piece of work, but I wanted to paint the picture for those who don't watch AEW. Swerve Strickland came. I'll make this quick. Swerve Strickland came out in no shirt, in a fur coat, stopped at the stage, didn't go any further than the stage, but was held back by referees and Prince Nana. He puts on the ugliest, meanest face that he could possibly do and says the following: Bobby Lashley, full gear. And all MVP says is, "We'll see you there, kid." It was some of the worst produced television you'll ever see.
It looked like MVP wanted to laugh at him.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't produced. It was not produced.
Nope.
The producer is Tony Khan, and he has no idea what he's doing.
You know, it's
that man says, "Go out there and just wing it."
Because you know what I noticed the week Lashley debuted, you can tell when WWE guys want information because we saw something we've never seen in that show before. And you can tell they've never done it before because we can hear the guy clear as day. They got a countdown to when the camera.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
MVP was barking hard cam position orders like a freaking general.
Yep, get in position. Get in position.
Yep, get in position. Get in position. And the show actually ended on time, the way a show is supposed to end, with the person who's supposed to be standing triumphant, staring into the hard cam as it fades to black.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll notice the week later they got the opening segment because Tony Khan doesn't want too much. He doesn't want to give up too much control.
Well, and again, wrestling is easy, right? Especially when you have a feud like this, because really they should be laying everybody out at the end of the show. I don't care about the no blacks allowed in the pool combat club. They close the show, they open the show next week. You give them a reason to close it out again the following week.
Yeah,
until you get to your pay-per-view match. We ended that show. What was the end of that show? Well, last week I don't even remember.
Oh,
wait, the ECW. It was Ricochet. It was the Ricochet Takashi.
Yeah,
that whole
exactly. Nothing anybody cared about.
No.
Nope.
They got destroyed by the 10. Destroyed by a 10-woman tag, and then here's the kicker. Let's go into here's the kicker for it. They had a 10-minute overrun, so they were unopposed for 10 minutes. You'd think that means if what Dave Meltzer says it's true, you'd think that would mean that their ratings would double in that last 10 minutes because everybody who was watching NXT would just float on over and go watch it. They gained 5,000 viewers for the overrun. On a night that they were going head to head with NXT, on a night when people knew they were there, on a night that they had a captive audience for wrestling ready to switch the channel, and they didn't do it. They watched the local news. They went somewhere else.
And that was people putting on to watch American Dad anyway. That was people going to watch AEW.
Right. They had a captive audience of 600,000 wrestling fans who weren't watching their show at the time, who could have just clicked over to see what was going on, and they didn't do it.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a terrible week for AEW fans last week. I swear to God, like
it was so bad they left. It was so bad the entire company left Twitter.
That is the cat. That's exactly what I wanted to say. It was so bad that their spokesman Dave Meltzer had no excuse for it, and so when they had no excuse for it, they were like, we're out. We don't want to see this massacre again," and it was a massacre.
Wait, is Tony Khan and AEW over on Blue Sky now too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. They're going to push it on TV.
That's so funny.
It's so funny. There was a mandate. All the Ricochet is over there. All of them went over to Blue Sky now.
Talk about not learning your lesson. That sounds familiar. Talk about not listening to what really is going on. Talk about living in the state of delusion. That's AEW for you. Not only did a lot of their fans go over there, a lot of the journalists went over there, which should show you everything you need to know about how embarrassed they were, what happened on Wednesday, probably what also happened on Tuesday, but also they had to roll. They rolled out of there en masse because they did not want to get the heat that they knew they were going to get. Their credibility was on the line on Wednesday, and on Thursday afternoon, it was shot.
Gone. Just disappeared like a thief in the night.
Is Meltzer over there too?
Yeah, Meltzer's over there too. And he's following people. He's following people instead of blocking
That's
people.
not Meltzer. That's not Meltzer.
Oh,
That's somebody who did something very clever, and if anybody's listening, you ought to do it too. You got to get these big name accounts and just take them. Because the guy put Dave Meltzer at bluesky.app, and now Dave's got to do. He's probably going to have to do Dave Meltzer WON or whatever. But Homeboy already staked his claim on this new territory. I mean, he's out there, he's getting followers, and people think it's him. And meanwhile, he's trolling the whole time.
you remember that was the move in the early 2000s? Was just
it was a great move. Yep.
They forced the companies to pay you.
Yeah. Those were awesome times.
Yeah.
Just put on a porn site. If they don't, that's what everyone did. It was you'd buy a celebrity thing, and then if they didn't pay you, you'd make it a porn site every time.
Yeah, and then a major toy company will print it on the back of dolls for children.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys don't know what I'm talking about. Head over to thatpuckplace.com and read about what happened with the wicked Mattel dolls.
I'm so
I do want to say this. I am very proud. So under Tony Khan's first thing on Blue Sky, right? The first comment on the first thing on Blue Sky is asking about the Neo Moxley group. And the second comment is about Time Cop. TTW has made its way to Blue Sky.
Did we start the Time Cop thing? I don't think we started that, did we? I don't know.
We brought it to the internet. We brought it.
You give me my due.
Yeah,
you're right. You did say,
and we did
that talked about how he does that.
We did Neo Moxley's too. The first two comments under Tony Khan's inaugural post were from Tooney Talk Wrestling fans.
Awesome.
Well, there we go.
They're not called the Neo Moxies. I think they're called. What are they called?
Death Riders.
No, they're not actually called that, but
no. We affectionately call them that, but they have an official name that I can't remember.
Death Riders.
It's the Death Riders, right? Even dopier than Neo Moxley's.
Oh, what a stupid edgelord name.
Yep.
Seriously though.
Talk about 1984. Like, dude, we're the best.
If it ends in a Z, it is completely and totally some 1997 14-year-old who puts skulls on everything that he owns.
Really like Spawn. Like Spawn.
Run around in Jenko jeans with a black chain.
Hey now. We don't need to talk about me. We don't need to talk.
Oh my god.
This were all the worst in fashion. Just the worst.
Alfred here. Alfred says Dynamite also featured a no contest as Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin went to a stalemate against John Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli. Will Hobbs and Ricochet prevailed in Hobbs' TV return as the duo defeated Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher. With the Hurt Business recruiting black talent, it's fair to wonder whether both Ricochet and Hobbs will wind up with the former WWE stable. In their latest head-to-head duel, it was NXT that faced the disadvantage on the unfamiliar night. News negatively affects AEW viewers more than NXT viewers, so the election coverage posed more of a threat to AEW's audience. But with the election wrapped up late into Tuesday night and well before Dynamite, news coverage of who would be the next president wasn't nearly as much of a threat as I thought it could have been. So AEW continues to try to rebuild its audience both live and on television amid a new television deal with Warner Bros. Discovery. AEW Rampage, which is expected to be canceled by 2025, recently drew its lowest viewership ever. NXT on CW has been a success thus far. With a bigger audience on network television, NXT has been more competitive with AEW on a weekly basis head-to-head or not. So, yes, I agree with Alpha that. You know, I got to say, though, I feel like I thought NXT was going to do bigger numbers than they're doing.
Really?
No, yeah. I think it's about. I figured.
No, I assumed it was going to be in the 800s or so. Like it's
still the CW. I mean, it's still, it's the CW. It's not NBC. If you think about what the difference was between like SmackDown and Raw and NXT on cable, and then you look at what the difference between SmackDown and it kind of adds up that it would be about this.
Yeah, and you got to remember a number one show on the CW was pulling like 600,000 people.
Yeah.
The NXT is there to eventually pull more people in. They're doing relatively well with the CW's lack of money. We got to remember the thing was sold. There was no actual money exchange. It was sold under the premise of we will accept your massive debt.
That's true.
I feel a little worried for NXT only because like the ECW arena show took place. It kind of took place in a vacuum, and anybody, in my personal view, I didn't like the show. I didn't, the 10-woman main event was great, but everything in between it was just like, oh my god, this is a slog.
The show stunk.
The show was good. But this show wasn't to attract new viewers, and it didn't. I mean, this show was lower rated than their normal time slot. They beat AEW on their night with lower ratings than they normally get.
Right.
This wasn't like this isn't like they went to a spectacular night and did gangbusters. They went to a night that wasn't theirs, did okay, and still beat the competition. So this wasn't about, and
with the exception of the Dudleys, and I guess maybe Rhino, there were no major like it's, you didn't have Dreamer, you didn't have Sabu, you didn't have Sandman. Like you're missing your Mount Rushmore ECW folks. So
because I didn't like the viewership went up towards the end of NXT, I believe, right?
The women come in,
yeah. So I mean, my opinion accounts for nothing. I just thought the show wasn't all that great, but it brought in more, just like you guys said, it brought in more viewers than AEW on their night. Like, come on now, you can't get smacked up in your own home.
And you know what? To be fair, we're a bunch of old ECW fans judging a show not put on for ECW fans. Like this show, the ECW arena was. But
we're all smart enough to adjust, though. Come on, now.
Right? Right, but like you said, you admit it though. You admit that maybe this just wasn't for you. And did you see could you ever believe that you would see the ECW arena filled with kids? That was like half kids in that audience. It was
glad I didn't go.
It was weird.
Seriously, I'd have been like, so where? I'd have been like, where's the Coke? Where's the beer? Where's the?
You're not allowed near kids. Awful. Last time somebody let you near a kid, you started asking about global politics and almost got me in trouble.
Oh, please.
So did it look like the ECW arena, or did it look like normal NXT?
We're gonna get NXT.
Yeah.
It was never going to look like the ECW arena.
But God, would it have been great?
WWE has a very WWE look. Maybe it would have been nice if maybe they put up the old entrance in the back and let them cut promos in front of it. But,
dude, the brick wall.
The
brick wall stage. I mean, and listen, the lights were so low to the ring. It was just like Javon Evans is going to kill himself jumping off the top rope or whatever. But it looked like it was very dark in the background. Marv, did you see the show at all? You didn't see the show?
I didn't see it at all,
brother.
Oh yeah. That's right. I'm sorry. But yeah, it looked too slick and polished. I mean, I wanted to see the gritty walls in the back and the ladders that held up the stage.
I think also the fact that they tried to bring ECW back before, if they were to go the full route, like let's imagine somebody was just stumbling on the show and hadn't watched in years. The first thought could be, they're trying to bring ECW back again. Seriously? Like I could see why you wouldn't want to go down that route, considering how bad it failed for you last time you went down that route. That's
even though I will say towards the end, WWE ECW, once it
got there,
decided it didn't want to be ECW, it just became what it would have become naturally.
Right.
It was okay. It
got there. Yeah. It got there.
It got there. It got, a little late, but it got there.
Well, I remember when they were doing One Night Stand, everybody was like, "Oh, is it going to be in the ECW arena?" And apparently, the quote that everyone kept throwing around was that Vince didn't want to go there because he couldn't do pyro.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was like, "Oh, Vince doesn't get it." But then at the Hammerstein, they didn't have pyro. So I don't know.
No, they didn't. I don't remember. Yeah.
And then they did run the ECW arena, and they had Batista come out in the middle of the ring and and get booed out. They ran. I didn't know that WWE ECW ran the ECW arena, and it was they got torn apart when they did it. And that was.
Are you talking about Batista versus Big Show?
I think they did that.
Yeah, that was Hammerstein. This is the first. Yeah,
they did. Was it Mark Henry versus Big Show? Then I know that there was. It might have been Mark Henry versus Big. They did something where like
I
the
didn't
crowd.
Think they ever ran in the ECW arena.
I distinctly would have remembered if they did the ECW. I'd have been there, or at least tried to buy tickets. But I don't remember that ever happening.
Maybe I'm misremembering. I am old, so it's very possible that I'm misremembering things. But I do remember the ECW crowd tore him up, and Vince said, "We're never going back there again." And if it was no, they did house shows at the ECW arena and got killed. Alan Thomas just said it.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I remember the first one night stand. I remember they had Coach and Michael Cole sitting outside the Hammerstein, with the ECW fans like surrounding them, and all their like Michael Cole's like, "This is great, I love this," like doing his best Tony Schiavone, and the ECW fans are literally screaming, "F Michael Cole, F Michael Cole," but saying the word,
right.
And like it was just so hostile. And the single greatest John Cena clip of all time is John Cena with his head down and the belt over his head, walking through the gauntlet.
Yes,
of ECW fans that are just screaming at him.
I used to think
what an
awesome
awesome moment that was.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I used to think that it was like that whole thing was organic, but because over the years I've gained such a respect for John Cena, I think he actually was just like, you know what? They're going to kick my ass tonight. Yep. Let me put my head down. Let me let me be the enemy on their territory. And he just went with it.
He understood
the worst thing that John Cena could have done was been like, I'm going to go out there and win them over like this is Rocky 4 or something like that. Right. It's never going to happen.
It might have been better, actually.
He also didn't have to be heel. He also didn't have to do heelish things and feed into it. All he had to do was everything he normally does.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
John Cena.
The only thing I will say, and will continue to say until I die, is that would have been the perfect night for Eugene to be like, by the way, I'm not can we say that on YouTube?
Oh, did they bring Eugene? They did bring Eugene out and he got booed out of the building, right?
Yes, he got caned, I think.
By Sandman. All right, because that was back when Sandman's gimmick was they keep trying to bring out things that are very not ECW, and then Sandman comes out and canes that thing.
Right.
Like the zombie.
Yes. Who was a member of a gym I managed.
He was on the Indies for a while.
I heard he was a really good guy. Yeah.
Well, I also heard that he refused to lose to anybody.
Well, yes. Well, he's a zombie. Once he was a zombie, he's like, I'm the zombie. I'm not putting that over.
I remember hearing that an indie fed somewhere in the tri-state area, it might have been New Jersey, might have been New York. They did the zombie versus it was an October show. They did the zombie versus the boogeyman. And it was billed as like Freddy versus Jason. And I remember hearing that the zombie pitched a fit that he didn't want to lose.
Marv, I did commentary over that match on YouTube once.
Did you really? Who did he lose?
It was a no contest. They
because he refused to lose.
Yeah.
He refused to lose, and Boogie is too nice a human being.
He took the worms. Though. He did take the worms. So
Kevin, I remember you telling me about a show. where it was King Kong Bundy versus Tony Atlas, and neither of them would job to the other. So they had to shoot. They had to last minute change it so the heel tag team ran in halfway through the match, and it got turned into a tag match.
Yes, it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh!
Let's just keep it nice and easy. Come on now. I'm not doing that. No.
I'm gonna dig it up. So I used to do a long time ago. Maybe I'll find these videos and put them somewhere. I used to do. We used to find
in the trash
matches. No, we used to find bad indie matches and do commentary over them. And we did a Beetlejuice match where a guy came out wrestled as Beetlejuice. It was for the Southern Kentucky YouTube Television Championship. And the garage door kept going up and down in the background, and they beat him by saying Beetlejuice 3 times. I've seen there's been a lot of it's really fun stuff that I've seen. I might have to dig those up sometime because one of them was that Boogeyman match.
If we have any interest, I have a rundown of that ECW arena show.
Oh, really?
Of the house show?
Yes. There is no hard cam, but there was a mobile cam. They played a prepaid message regarding WWE's proprietary rights, and fans then erupted in a "F you Vince" chant. Justin Roberts came out and was booed out of the building. Couldn't even hardly get his words out. We got the FBI versus Doring and Roadkill. FBI was babyface. CM Punk versus Stevie Richards.
Okay, that would have gotten a good pop.
Punk came out to his ROH music by AFI. Francine won an extreme bikini contest over Kelly and Trinity.
How many she's a crack? Did Chance erupt during that?
She probably got all of them. Mike Knox came out and covered Kelly, and then laid out Francine. Balls Mahoney hit the ring for the save. Oh, this is when Dusty was trying to tell the Beauty and the Beast storyline. Vince was like, ugh, no one's gonna believe that. He's gross.
I love that story.
Mike Knox
Balls was so good.
Oh,
Balls run in that company was so good, and the fact that he got Vince to love him. Vince was a huge Balls Mahoney fan by the end of that run.
I have a Vince Balls story.
Don't tell a Vince Balls story. This is
I want to hear about Vince Balls.
It's okay. No, it's safe. So they this was told me by Danny Doring. So they're all in a hotel. And they hadn't started the ECW tapings yet, but they had all the ECW guys going to Raws. So it's after the show and everybody's in the hotel, and Vince comes off of the elevator and he sees Balls walking down the hall with a bunch of women. And Vince goes, "Ha ha, Balls! I see you with a couple of ladies of the night. Have a good time, pal." And then he walked away.
Who were the women?
Don't worry about it.
Vince just thought they were ladies of the night and congratulated Balls and told them to have a good time.
Tracy Smothers was involved, if I remember correctly.
And those of you who don't know what a lady of the night is, go Google it.
All right, so what else happened on this show?
Let's see what else. Oh, let's see. Sabu defeated C.W. Anderson, who was probably smaller than Adam Cole at this point in his career. Let's see. Sandman pinned Just Incredible. No Metallica, so the place threw a hissy fit.
I can't even imagine.
Heyman came out and the crowd erupted into a this show sucks chant. Heyman had to explain that they had to make compromises, but the bottom line was that ECW was back, and he waited 5 years for it to be back. He admitted Sandman's music sucked. Those who loved it and those who were trying to blah, 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 blah. A fan tried to start a John Cena chant that was ripped by Heyman. Heyman pushed the July 4th taping and introduced Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer gave a speech about how his daughter was hurt today after falling. But once the got the plus sign. Well, it's not being English. I guess the meat potatoes of his daughter got hurt at whatever sport it was, probably soccer. They got the plus side. His wife and family told him to go. Okay, she got hurt, but they got the okay side and told him to go to the arena because they knew that Tommy had to be there for the fans. Dreamer called out Big Show. They brawled ringside into the bleachers. Show pressed and dropped Dreamer through a table to the floor. Oh my gosh. Tommy tried to hit the Scully driver, but couldn't lift the show. Show chokeslammed him. The crowd hated Big Show. It started chanting, "Don't come back."
Yeah.
The main event was Dreamer versus Kurt Angle with Dean Malenko as a special guest referee. Angle didn't get a big pop. RVD was greeted like a conquering hero. 5-star frog splash. Both looked really hard. This was a poop show. Then it goes into the July 4th taping.
Yeah, and then that's when Vince decided, I'm taking over, basically.
Yeah, 3 weeks later. 3 weeks later, they stopped doing small arena shows.
Oh boy. All right, guys, moving along. We got some super chats, then we'll get into our Dave Meltzer madness of the week. Craig Churchill for $5 Canadian says, I know Hogan Savage is the go-to feud, but my favorite is Hogan Orndorff. That cage match was perfection. That is true. It was.
Mm-hmm.
I do love that cage match.
Can I give a special mention to Ronnie Garvin versus the Horseman and Flair?
Yes.
Because I love that feud. Ronnie Garvin cannot cut a promo to save his life, but it's actually kind of endearing. That he's just sputting out nonsense, and that all he keeps doing is just punching the Horseman in the face, and they sell like they got shot. And also that Flair had an excuse to drop and re-win the title. I love the feud. It is absolutely ridiculous, but I just love it. I love it. Complete with you. Who was it who had to spend the night in Garvin's hotel? Oh, I can't remember who it was. I don't think it was Baby Doll.
No, it was Baby Doll.
Was it Baby Doll?
Yeah.
And instead of it being Baby Doll in the hotel, it was one of the Horsemen in a wig.
It was JJ Dillon.
It was JJ Dillon, right?
Yeah.
It was JJ in the wig, and they beat up in a hotel, which I thought was absolutely freaking brilliant. If you get bored, I don't know if it's up on the up on Peacock, but YouTube Ron Garvin versus the Horseman. It's just tremendous. It's just tremendous.
But whatever you do, do not look at a Ron Garvin promo.
No,
don't do it.
The Rabid Wolverine LC Killer 17 says,
Glom gold, glom gold, glom gold, glom gold.
money well spent, sir. And yours for $199 says Marco Stunt versus the wrestling mat is his favorite. Did I see that Marco Stunt retired?
Yeah, he has health problems, so he is.
Now I feel
retired.
BT23 for $5 says AEW must be paying Lashley a ton because I don't see why he came if he's not the AEW world in the AEW world title picture soon.
He will be.
He will be unless Tony just forgets that he exists, which is also a very.
Bobby Lashley pulls a Bobby Lashley and gets injured for 9 months, like he does. I mean, you know, he's not a spring chicken at this point, and he's pretty injury prone. So,
and he's in the safest company in the world, so he,
exactly.
He's got to really watch out. Yeah. Somebody's going to be like, Canadian Destroyer. No, that don't work for me, bro.
$50. Awful. Stop it. He says 2019 was such garbage. I gave AEW more than a fair chance to show me what it had, but they lost me when they let the crowds back in, and the Young Bucks put me to sleep at 9:15 a.m. while I drank a Monster. True story. Wow, so you're drinking caffeine, it's 9:15 a.m., and the Young Bucks still put you to sleep. So
Thank you, Colin.
Thank
always
you, Colin.
Coming through.
Yes, always coming through. We love you, Colin, and
Hey, we can't all make declarations of hatred at the same time.
I have to play some kind of celebration. So, yeah, here we go. No, thank you, Colin. We very much appreciate you.
Hey, can we get this man some proper sound drops over here?
I need I need actual like celebration clips. I just have to have it at the time.
I'll work on it. I have to do it. I'll work on it.
If you want to do it, then I'm all for it.
The happy birthday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go. I forgot that you put that in there. Hold on.
Happy birthday!
Daniel Flores for $199 says Dawn Marie is a better ref than the refs. Dude, I think he means than the refs today.
Yeah, dude. First off, Dawn Marie can get it, man. She looked good on Wednesday.
She's still married to Simon Diamond.
I don't know, but she looked really.
So.
She looked solid.
I hope so. I like them together.
They teased that they might actually bring her in as a ref more often, which I think is really cool.
That's a bold-faced lie. She did terribly at that job.
I didn't say she did.
She was in the way.
I said they teased that they might bring her in more often, which I think is cool because I like Dawn Marie. But I will say she might be going to Aubrey Edwards' ref school. Did anybody hear about that? She's doing ref school online. You can go to.
Is it? Wait, she has a ref school?
And you can go to a ref school through Aubrey Edwards. You go to her website, and you can pay her to teach you how to be a referee.
Did she teach you how to dance?
And this is why the WWE did what it did.
Yeah. Oh my God.
No, they are not still married.
Oh,
that's sad.
Here's your chance.
Go take breakdancing lessons from married,
since 2005.
Why don't you just go take breakdancing lessons from that Australian lady while you're at it? Like
they're the same person. I never realized that they're the same person.
Aubrey Edwards and the breakdancing lady.
Yes.
Oh God.
John Williams for $9.99 says, I'm willing to bet we will have Triple H book a meeting with Zarya and Jordan and how he wants them to just stare at each other in the ring. Yeah, stare at each other. Just keep looking.
Oh, they're going to be a tag team, aren't they? He's going to put them together.
If they are, then no one should ever beat them.
Triple H is going to have a good time with them. That's all I'm going to say.
I'll tell you who's really not happy. I'll tell you who's really not happy that Jordan Grace is showing up. Zoe Stark.
Yeah.
Yeah, what place will she have afterwards?
Ivy Nile.
And I like Zoe Stark. I think she's all right. And yeah, Ivy Nile, boy, did she talk about back burner. Holy cow.
Because honestly,
you don't see her.
I like Ivy Nile, but when you got Jordan Grace, like, you don't need Ivy Nile anymore. It's sad. But
at the end of the day, when these NXT... when these NXT ladies come up and they get called up to the main roster, who I think kind of gets lost in the shuffle at that point. At that point, what need do we have for Jade Cargill?
Oh, please don't say that.
She's not getting better.
Let's not get ridiculous. Jade, even in her diminished state, is still a much bigger star.
Guys, let's all take a step back. Okay.
I took a step back.
You
don't have to be a good wrestler to be.
You can only get away with what she does in the ring for so long. Eventually, people
she's getting better. You got to remember, they had to deprogram the idiocy that she was taught in AEW.
So what was she taught?
She is a year one student right now.
Yeah.
Learning on the go.
Did you see that they're trying to float? There's the Rebel Rousers are trying to float that there is heat between Bianca and Jade and that Bianca wants to get away from her. Yeah.
I mean, I would believe that Bianca probably wants to go singles again. Because she went from being the biggest women's star in the world to being in a tag team.
Yeah,
it's okay though, because Bianca was getting very stale.
My God! Well,
we needed to cool her. We needed to cool it down a little bit, but still have her be involved. So
I have said many, many times about Bianca Belair when she came up from NXT. It was all the work was already done for Vince. She was a killing machine. She was just the most badass woman on the planet. And Vince was like, "No, you have to smile and cry."
Yep. He turned her into John Cena. He just turned her into girl John Cena.
A John Cena that cried more.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a girl John Cena. That's what Vince thinks girls do is cry. That's
I was like, if she cries Vince has a girl one more time,
she winds up crying.
I gotta say, gentlemen, first off, I am the biggest Jade Cargill fan. I so badly want her to succeed. I totally agree with you, Marv. She's not improving to the point, and this was a bone of contention for a lot of people on the IWCNN when Corey Graves said he said a line, maybe she should worry more about getting better in the ring than taking Instagram pictures.
Yeah.
To me personally, that's an old school clarion call to get better, sweetheart, or else you'll find yourself out on the road. And anybody who's worth a damn in the workplace, anybody who gets that type of vibe from their superior, they should already know. And that's that whole hey, make sure you say this while she's out there strutting her stuff.
Graves is
I think she's spinning her. I think she's spinning her wheels until she can get to Hollywood.
Yeah,
but you got to get over. Listen, we've seen this play out before. Everybody forgets that Mark Henry was on TV, then not on TV, then was on TV, then not on TV.
The Rock.
Same thing with the Big Show. Same thing with The Rock. It's you get there. The WWE is the biggest body of water, and when you get there, you are told to swim, or drown. And the fact that she hasn't drowned is a good sign, because we have
if only they had a secondary television show, a feeder system where they could have sent her to let her cut her teeth before bringing her to the main roster. Oh wait, they do. They didn't send her there.
Yeah, but I understand why they did what they did. She is, sometimes you are just too big a star, and there was more money to be made immediately off of her, because they're figuring you can teach her on the road, because they've done it before. They did it for everybody who is on TV currently before there was an NXT. Everybody learned on the road. We all saw Beyond the Mat. Saw the guys working in the travel ring in the back, in the backstage area. It's nothing new to them. But different people learn at different speeds, which is just an undeniable fact. She's a hell of an athlete, but because you're a hell of an athlete doesn't mean you're going to get wrestling. She can do the wrestling moves, but she hasn't had she doesn't wrestle enough to be in a spot where she's gonna get the aha moment. Because you gotta remember too, they're on a reduced schedule. This isn't like she got thrown up on the road and put with Bianca, and we're still doing we're still wrestling 6 times a week. They're pretty much it's your TV spot, maybe a house show, and then you're off. And it's on you to kind of get the performance center. But again, too, they gave her a shot across the bow, whether it's worked or not, because they could also be planting the seeds for a nice little heel turn, or / it's both. And if she needs a little boot in her butt, she's got to get the boot in her butt. Again, it's not the first, and it won't be the last time we'll see it.
Yeah,
of the two of them,
if she would
of her and Bianca, who do they turn heel?
Bianca.
I would love that.
Return to heel Bianca.
Give me heel Bianca all day, every day.
I think you have to.
Yeah, because she's going to be the one putting in the work to do that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like Jade can't do that.
And
Jade can't be face, though. She doesn't have baby face charisma. She has. At what time is it? She has Instagram bitchy charisma.
Yeah. I would if Jade would have gone to NXT, I think she probably would have been in a similar situation to Nikita Lyons, where she comes in and she gets people look at her and she looks like such a bigger star than the other people there, that the other people realize these NXT people are fighting and clawing to get attention. They want to be on the show. They're doing whatever they can to prove themselves. Jade could not survive in that kind of environment. She would be overexposed. She would die there, unless you're going to keep her there and not put her on TV and just have her, running the ropes and stuff before matches. She had to be on the big show. That's the only way you can go with it. But I do like the direction that Corey Graves is going, where he's becoming the new JBL, where he just takes shots at people who management wants to deliver a message to, because he did it to Sammy too on Crown Jewel.
Oh, did he? What did he say?
He said, there's Sammy, virtue signaling like always.
He's not wrong.
By the way, real quick, awful. Max called you a simp I forgot to tell you that when we were watching Crown Jewel.
What?
When Jade was out there, Max wasn't on the mic, and he heard Awful saying something. He goes, "Stop simping for her."
I'm a gigantic fan for her. So Max can just go right back to bed. Okay.
That's right. Your step granddaddy's in charge now.
This is your granddaddy speaking.
Thank you, Kevin. But
Awful.
yeah,
I want to do a show that's just Awful and Max. Those two, listening to those two talk to each other was so funny.
The Awful and Max show.
Maximum awful. Yeah, what I was going to say about
Awful to the max. That's it. Kev found it.
There it is. It sticks. You know who I feel bad for? And see, it's one of the things that we may not have been looking at. Maybe Bianca Belair is not the best teacher. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, she was on the meteoric rise. She's one of the top stars. She probably feels a certain type of way having to babysit this woman. Let's get real. Like, these are real people. She's probably like, oh my God, this is my my anchor to my success. And especially what's going on with her husband, Montez Ford, and the other guy whose name I can't even remember because they don't really
Dawkins.
Yeah, Dawkins. Holy cow. Like, she probably just wants to bust away from Jade and be like, let's just get this program going on. You know what I mean? Like,
but who else do you put her with though? Natty? I mean, like that when you're talking about like veteran women in WWE, there's not a lot to choose from. Yeah. You know,
well,
so
also, I mean, it's the fact that you can't judge someone on their first year. It's just impossible.
Right.
This is a year. This is a year one.
When you look that good, Kev. When you look that good, see, you're disqualifying her aura when you say that. Like,
I'm talking about that she's on TV because she has the aura and presentation of a star. And you do not send your star down the developmental deal because there's too much money. Her existence prints money for them. That's why she's on TV. They don't care if it's going to take her 2 or 3 years to learn how to wrestle. They can work around that. It's the fandom that's making this noise, and the 5 and the 5 through 15-year-olds don't care. It's just the old men who are squawking.
And
like a bunch of
I think, we talk about how WWE doesn't care about AEW, and I don't think that they look at them as competition. But I do think that taking Jade and putting her in the spot and presenting her that she did sent a message to a lot of guys in AEW that, hey, we are not afraid to use you here. You're not going to get buried if you come over here.
Yeah, Ethan Page got that call.
Lexus King. I mean, a lot of them. Sean Spears. They basically sent a message saying, hey, if you're misused there, we're not going to bury you just because you worked for another company. You can come here and we will push you to the point that you deserve and maybe even more, and it's a good business move when you're talking about signings because there's a lot of people from AEW that I think are going to be coming over more in the next couple of years, especially with the ID program and stuff coming up.
I think if Jade had gone to NXT, we would not be seeing Stephanie Vaquer or Julia.
No.
That's just me.
I would never. I don't think I'd ever move them up. At least not for like a year or two. Build NXT around them. Build the company around those girls.
And this speaks to a bigger problem that they have in general with the NXT girls in particular. There's a lot of them. Again, they don't get the rounds that they need, and a lot of them wind up lost in the shuffle. What's the name of the one with the girl with the green and black hair who got pulled up and she has not been seen since she got drafted?
Lyra Valkyrie.
Yeah, there you go. This is exactly why they need a women's show. You just need something for the girls to do. You've got a lot of very talented girls who can cut promo, who need character development time, who need in-ring time. It's just time. It's time to pull the trigger and give the women their own show. Especially if are they doing a women's US title now or something?
Or women's US title.
How gee.
Yeah. All right, so we're doing a secondary women's title. You've got to pull the trigger and just bloody do it.
Yeah.
How about more reps at the PC, Kev?
I don't disagree, but you know what's going to happen the second they're like, we're giving the women their own show.
Yeah, but those nerds don't spend money anyway, so who cares?
That's true. Yeah, and WWE knows that they don't spend money. WWE doesn't make the mistake that a lot of other big companies do and assume that they're plentiful, especially right now. So, yeah. BT23 for $10 says, just me, but the Death Rider storyline feels like Temu NWO versus WCW. Darby and OC are like Temu Luger and Sting before Sting changed. Wouldn't be surprised if Cesaro and Pac get titles like the Outsiders. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean, look, to me, the Elite versus AEW felt like Temu NWO versus WCW. I don't even know what this Death Riders thing is. Like, it's so stupid.
This is Alibaba. This is Alibaba NWO.
I've had to deal with Alibaba on a few occasions. I completely understand this sentiment.
Dude, come on. Let's be real. Who is scared of a frail lesbian in a pink coat dropping from the ceiling? Darby lands like a blow-up doll.
Yeah.
Who cares? And then this little idiot with his head. I don't do this. I'm not a leader. Let me take my glasses off. I saw the future. AEW. Like, bro, shut up. Go away.
Who is that an impression of?
The pockets cutting the most it was anti-charisma. It was anti-charisma.
Yeah.
The only way to describe it.
You just don't get it.
Lord.
You just don't get it, man.
John J 999 for 199 says Takeshita needs to get to the PC as fast as possible, and I agree with that.
I don't know after the data that this showed me. Yeah, Takeshita don't bring him in.
You know what though? If you saw the segments that's the one I wish I could do. I'm not going to get into it too much. If you can see the segments that he was booked in and who he was booked with, it is not his fault that he is not getting people watching him. He is booked with. It's pretty bad who he's paired with most of the time. So.
Yeah, I mean,
well, he's the other half of that.
You don't want the Joshis going after you again.
Oh, geez. Don't. Man, that was.
John JD 999 for 199 also says Bianca was the first lady who got me into the ladies. Well, I'm assuming you mean ladies wrestling, or was she? Your first, your first experience?
Come clean, John J.
Brown sugar, just like a young.
Did you pressure him into that too? Is that
John J. ID's got one toe out the closet.
Leah Flores for 199 says Jade is still better than Nia Jax. I like Nia Jax. I don't understand.
That's a lateral play right there. They're both the same person.
But at the end of the day, Nia should be far better than Jade because Nia has been doing this for so long.
Yeah, I did not.
Okay.
I used to not like Nia Jax, but she's winning me over weekly. So I like your run now.
With each and every pound.
How was the match with her and Liv?
Fine. It was fine.
Yeah. Who won?
I mean, it was Liv.
Okay.
It was well booked. I mean, what are you gonna do with Liv and Nia? Like, it was just Nia throwing Liv around every once. That
was why I couldn't believe that Liv retained the title. I was like, "There's no way."
No, she won. She won the Grand Slam. I mean, the Crown Jewel title. Remember?
Yeah, I know. She won the ugly belt, which hopefully now on Raw last night, like in the week since, we have not seen that belt again. Right?
They didn't get to keep them. They are still in.
Now they put
the
them
Crown Prince's vault.
Yeah, no, it's in the museum, the WWE Experience. They get rings, so they get to wear rings.
Yeah.
The belt was bigger than her. After the show, on the post show, they showed him, and Cody had his belt, and he was wearing them, and Liv is like trying to put it over her shoulder, and it's like covering half of her body.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It was hilarious.
Were they all wearing the Power Ranger costumes again?
Yeah.
Of course. We want them to come back home, not be beheaded on live television.
This is true.
Although, Mac, did you see Maxine on Raw? Did you see Maxine on Raw where she wore that big giant Alpha Academy shirt? She had the jumpsuit on, and I'm guessing even that was too much. They made her wear like a double XL Alpha Academy shirt over it.
Oh boy. Gave her one of Otis's shirts.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Good on Maxine.
There is something about those bodysuits, though. Less history, more mystery. I kind of like them.
All right, guys. It is that time again this week. It is time for. It is time, guys, for a little segment we like to call. That's Dave for you, and boy, it's Dave for you this week. Guys, Dave Meltzer has completely lost his mind. I think the first thing we have to talk about is what I think is maybe one of the most egregious things he's ever done. And that's saying a lot because he does a lot of things that are pretty egregious. So
yeah, take your pick.
Yeah, let me pull that up for you guys.
He's had a hard 3 weeks. So.
Let me set the stage for this real quick because I think the
you know which one I'm going with first.
Yeah, but I want to set the stage for Meltzer's breakdown in general. You have to realize they turned blocking off last week.
Yes, so now everyone can see what he writes again.
And so Dave has to see what everyone else says about him too. So like he's exposed again. He can't be in this little bubble anymore that he was in, and now and then with Wednesday happening and this was probably just the worst week in Dave Meltzer's long life last week.
How could this happen to me?
All right. So in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer said, Dutch Mantel, Wade Keown, 74, is not doing well, nor his wife, Kathy. He's battled sepsis twice over the last year, and both times nearly took his life. He had a month-long stay in the hospital after the second time. His wife had also had great. This guy's a writer. This guy's a professional writer, by the way. Mm-hmm. His wife had also had both sepsis and diverticulitis to the point she's been hospitalized. Stop it. 11 times since May, and just had emergency bowel resection surgery and has lost 70 pounds. That is the run-on sentence to end all run-on sentences. Because of extended hospital stays, missing a comma there, their insurance and life savings are depleted and started a GoFundMe. He's losing it. He doesn't usually he's a bad writer, but he's usually not this bad. Right?
Hey, Kev,
this is awful.
Did Dave Meltzer write that ECW report that you were reading earlier? Because it sounds exactly the same as this.
Marv, you're a writer. Go back up to the top where he talks about because the text is tiny, but he says he's battled sepsis twice over the last year, and both times nearly took his life. That doesn't even sound correct. Holy shit.
As an editor,
that's why I stopped. I was like, wait, Dutch Mantel was trying to commit suicide? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
But
we're fine.
Hopefully. But holy cow, that's terrible.
I think it's okay because he didn't tell somebody to do it. He just said that,
No,
okay.
I think we'll be fine. If it's just one time, we'll be fine. Gotcha. Man, just had emergency bowel resection surgery. He's lost 70 pounds. Because of extended hospital stays, their insurance and life savings are depleted, and started a GoFundMe because both still need home care. They had raised $64,200 with most of the top donors being anonymous. And the largest known donors were Tony Khan at $5,000 and Chris Jericho at $1,500. With Khan... It's not true, and we'll get into that in a second because Neckbeard pointed out Jim and Stacey Cornette also gave $5,000, so Dave Meltzer could suck a butt. With Khan, and this is where he gets disgusting. With Khan, many have pointed out that Mantel, as a podcaster, was brutal to Khan, even being critical of him when the promotion was at its popularity peak, and recently criticized him for the contract terms Swerve Strickland got in his recent deal. It is something when a former wrestler gets mad at a promoter who clearly can afford it for what he pays the top talent. And he was doing it after he knew the new deal was put together, and that was going to make the company exceedingly profitable. People pay this guy to write
or run on sentences. Yep.
Can I tell you that listening to you and Awful watch you read this it's the best part of this segment. I hear the pain that you are
professional disgust.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not even a professional.
Okay, can I tell you something? I didn't really go over this before right now. I was in the hospital, so I didn't see a lot of this stuff. This is my first time seeing this. This is disgusting. This is terrible. Okay, because what he's trying to do, he's obviously using this as an own and trying. By the way, he's casually not mentioning the people he doesn't want to mention. He's only mentioning what he does want to mention. He's putting forth an agenda that Tony Khan is a great man because despite everything people say about him, he still gives back. Here's the thing. Okay, first off, how many people I've heard plenty of stories about other people in the business not giving money to people that need help without going on GoFundMe and making it public. Okay, you don't have to put your name on a donation. Tony Khan's doing this for publicity. That's it.
Of course he is.
Yep,
okay.
The WWE oftentimes contributes big amounts of money to when especially when old vets have a situation like this, and you never know they did it.
Right. I'm not going to get on Chris Jericho because he's one of the boys, and I'm sure that Dutch really appreciates him doing it. But when a guy like Tony Khan, who has never worked with him, a billionaire, gives $5,000, which is a pittance to him, and does it in a public setting, I'm sorry.
I can't fault Tony too much for it because at least he gave him the money and he needed.
He gave him the money. Yes,
so
he gave him.
Yeah.
But what Dave has done, he's just justified what this was trying to say. He's justified why Tony Khan gave up only 5,000 instead of say 50,000.
Yeah, right. Fine. Yes, it's nice that Tony opened up the wallet. Dave has trivialized and reduced.
Beautiful.
Yes.
And for what? To cling on to some meaningless justification that matters only to him because no one else is thinking this unless you suffer from some kind of weird delusion.
It gets worse, guys. You've stopped me before it gets worse.
I want to clarify something. I don't want to take away from what Tony did and say, my anger was at Dave. I kind of got lost in the Tony sauce, and I apologize for that. I'm glad that he gave $5,000. It's a very good thing. But to build it up like it's something more than it is, but like Dave did, is what I find disgusting.
Okay, so then he goes. So he's saying all this now. Now it's a shame on you, Dutch Mantel, for saying bad things about good guy Tony.
Right
now he's going. Wrestlers using the old school he doesn't draw money and not understanding that this isn't a mom and pop week to week business based on live event numbers, but one that in a worst case scenario year would generate $250 million next year. What is this sentence?
What? I'm sorry. What is he saying? What?
So he was saying that Dutch was critical of what Tony gave Swerve Strickland, and Dutch said he doesn't draw money. So now he's criticizing the he doesn't draw money argument. But this is one sentence. Wrestlers using the old school he doesn't draw money and not understanding that this isn't a mom and pop week to week business based on live event numbers, but one that in a worst case scenario year would generate $250 million next year. In a worst case scenario year would generate $250 million next year. He's unraveling. Because he's never been this bad.
That is spot on, Marv. He's an unraveling writer.
He just goes on and on and on and on.
He's melting down.
I have been a professional writer since I was 17 years old in one form or another. All right. At the end of the day, I have been handed work from grade schoolers that is better than this. It's not even just going into the content of what he's talking about, which is abhorrent and appalling, and he deserves to burn in hell just for what he's doing right now. We're trying to take a victory lap over Dutch Mantel being sick. We are at a point where he is a professional journalist, a professional writer, a man who receives money for putting words in a specific order that people are supposed to find informational. And he has been so for decades.
I'm done. You know what? I want to cancel him. Can we cancel him? Do we still do that? Is that still a thing?
No, we don't do that.
But I want to so bad. I've never wanted to before in my life, and I really want to. I know. It seems like so much fun sometimes. By the way, can we give a shout out to Dutch Mantel? He's coming back to his podcast. It just got announced today.
Oh, is he? Good for him.
Coming back. Yeah. So
I thought he was back. I think the podcast is out right now.
Yeah, they released the first one. So anybody who wants to support him, by the way, I believe his GoFundMe is still up, and his podcast, go listen. It's a good show. Dutch Mantel is a very entertaining person.
I listen to clips of it all the time. Dutch has great stuff. By the way, Dave, apparently I haven't seen this yet. Dave doubles down.
Awesome.
Well, before we do this, before we go deeper into the mouth of madness, I have a question. Who has a better grasp of writing, Dave Meltzer or 3 o'clock in the morning Jack Swagger.
I would say I at least understood what 3 o'clock in the morning Jack Swagger was trying to say.
Right. His words were concise and to the point.
So yesterday, I guess Meltzer was responding to the fact that people are mad at what he said. And he goes, "You do know this is preposterous, right? Use a real world analogy, sports, politics, entertainment. Someone heavily critical of a famous person has financial issues. The famous person donates a nice sum of money, more than every one of his friends does, although he is rich. It's mentioned in his story. How is it possible to not mention the person being donated to was critical of him and why in the story? Yeah, and some people on every story play agenda and would say, why are you reporting on this, having no idea you would cover a story? Having no idea how you would cover a story. You couldn't do it without writing it, and why. Say Oscar De La Hoya or Tito Ortiz, if you like, ends up with something horrible to the point there is a GoFundMe. Dana White donates money. Is it going to be reported? Yes. Is Oscar and Dana's personal feud and insults going to be brought up? Yes. Will what Oscar said about Dana be brought up? Yes. Will the fact that Oscar went into MMA and ended up not paying better than Dana be brought up with some, if not many? Will Oscar's friends get mad at that moment? Some will. Will the reporter get a few people on Twitter blast him? Yes. Will podcast hosts from the rival party still get mad that the guy they hate did something nice? Yes. Will anyone take them seriously? No. And then he says, you can do feuding politicians, movie stars, athletes that have blasted someone who then donates, asks all the same questions. All the answers are the same. That's the test. Get out of the wrestling bubble. Do the identical analogies for sports, politics, or entertainment, and how they would be.
Yeah, right.
This is yet another Meltzer false equivalency. Yep. We have seen this play out many times in the real world. And if fine, I will give him, if there was a donation made, you would get a quick blurb about the oftentimes rival of this person has donated money to blah, 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 blah. Or
and that's it.
Something a contentious, in spite of their contentious relationship, blah, 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 donated this amount. But that Ted Kaczynski-esque babbling manifesto that he jammed into that fortune cookie size, it's to call it blithering is actually issuing high praise.
I love the fact that you said false equivalency. I was going to use the word false premise because Dave Meltzer is not a journalist. He's a joke. No one takes him seriously. So to compare yourself to an actual journalist, a real sports journalist, and talk about like sports journalism, why don't you not report deaths incorrectly if you want to be considered a journalist? Why don't you not side with one company extensively if you want to be called a journalist? Why don't you actually do some journalism? You know,
he's not even a columnist at this point.
No, he's
nope. And as AEW Neckbeard pointed out,
he is storyteller. He makes stuff up. Nothing. It's
and as Neckbeard pointed out, Jim Cornette.
I don't use that word much.
Also,
I hate Dave Meltzer.
As Neckbeard pointed out, Jim Cornette and Stacey Cornette also donated $5,000. Now, apparently, Tony also donated another $5,000, so he's given 10 G's to this. Which again, that's great, Tony. That's awesome. You know what? I'm not going to sit here and talk. At the end of the day, Dutch Mantel has never personally attacked Tony Khan. Dutch Mantel has been critical of Tony Khan as a professional in the same industry. So it's not the equivalent of Oscar De La Hoya or Tito Ortiz with Dana White. It's the equivalent of like if I don't know if Robin Williams had donated to Gene Siskel's GoFundMe because they didn't like Mrs. Doubtfire or something like that. It was a professional critique.
Dave Meltzer is very ingenious. He knows how to somehow, some way, insert himself into a story that has nothing to do with him. And he does it week in and week out. And sure, we can all say that he's not a journalist. We can say that, and I believe it. But the problem is that not enough people believe it, and that man's going to still run on sentences, until the day that he gives up the pen to somebody else. But holy cow, two words, Dave: subject, predicate. Holy
he wants
shit.
to be the he wants to be the news. He wants to be the news.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to deliver the news. He wants to be the news.
When did this happen? Because the man was out here for decades and he never made himself the news. It's only been since AEW's come around.
It's the AEW thing. I mean, he had it a little bit, but he had it a little bit. Because especially, I would say, especially since WCW folded, he has injected himself into things.
He did it because he was doing it during the steroid trial. He was doing it during the Ring Boy scandal.
True.
He was Vince's handler on Donahue. You know, I mean, he was inserting himself back then. It's just people stopped giving him a chance. It wasn't until Tony allowed him to do it again that he came back. But when Vince was letting him do it, he was doing it. He was going everywhere, and he was supporting Vince McMahon during the Ring Boy scandal. People, like he was his protector at that time. So, and they brought it up in the documentary. You can watch it. He mentions it. It's not a secret.
I can't fault the man for changing his opinion on that, but
that's not an opinion. That's sucking up. He's sucking up to the people who give him news. That's all it is.
All right, so Neckbeard also pointed out Meltzer did the same thing with Kevin Sullivan's GoFundMe. He said Tony and Jericho donated and ignored the fact that Cornette did. Yeah, because that's inconvenient. That's because you're not actually reporting on a thing that you want people to know about. You are using it to further an agenda. You don't actually care about Dutch Mantel's health. You're doing this to prop up AEW and be like, see, these podcasters are bad and Tony Khan is the bestest boy ever. And he's my friend and I love him. And I have stupid little fake secret storylines that we only share with each other, which is the next thing that we're about to talk about.
Well, and we know why Dave is this bad. Some of it is that he has been exposed because social media, like the news cycle, is 24 hours, 7 days a week, and he can't keep up with it. But also too, AEW was his chance to say, "I'm right. I'm smarter than Vince," and it crumbled. It crumbled around him in less than a year, and has hit maximum failure status. It is culturally irrelevant. It is television-wise irrelevant. It's a laughing stock, and he can't handle it.
Yep. All right. So I have not listened to this yet, but apparently Tony Khan and Dave Meltzer have secret storylines that they only share with each other and leave the rest of their viewers in befuddlement. No, I'm not trolling. Meanwhile, Brian Alvarez inches closer to snapping over these two children playing with their invisible action figures. So let's listen to what this is.
Oh, I can't wait.
Match wears on, and every now and then Beast is like, and he puts his head in it. He's just conflicted. And I'm just like, fuck me, dude. I hate
Thanks,
this
Brian.
storyline. Because what the fuck do we know about this story? It's okay? Not people going on social media, and not people on Twitter. What the fuck do we know as viewers?
Brian Alvarez, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
Did you click to give Lou a live mic?
Yeah, right. I brought on Lou Wasserman's tonight. Playing the role of Lou Wasserman's ghost is Brian Alvarez.
Brian Alvarez.
Before
opening the floodgates.
Before we get too much deeper into this, I need to bust out real quick. I need to go.
Sorry. All right.
Yeah, my kid.
We'll talk to you later, my friend.
Has a fever. Just real quick, I do want to say, pay attention tomorrow. AEW Disciplinary on Twitter. I do have something coming out. And next week, plan for a late Tuesday night. Me and Awful might have a little surprise after Tooney Talk Wrestling. So, yeah. So, I'm going to bust out. Have a good night. Loved seeing you, Marv. I'm glad you're back. And I will talk to you guys later.
Thank you, Dis.
All right, Dis.
Thanks.
Stay away from razor blades.
Thanks.
What?
All right, here we go. We're just going to let Brian Alvarez F-bomb away, and I'll have to cut it out.
About this storyline, okay? We know that Roddy wants to recruit the Beast, okay? We do know that. We've seen it. Roddy keeps wanting to recruit the Beast. We know that he calls him Frank. Thankfully, he stopped doing that. But as television viewers, we have no earthly idea why they keep calling the Beast Mortos Frank.
Wait, they're calling the Beast Mortos Frank on TV?
I guess Roderick Strong is doing such a thing.
Oh, God. All right.
Okay. I know that the Beast Mortos joined LFI, but Dave tells me, apparently getting this from Tony Khan, that Beast is actually, he's not a full-fledged member. He's like he's some fucking, I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? Where did you get this? This doesn't count if Tony told you off air. Like, we don't know.
So Dave Meltzer is defending the storyline that you just don't understand, bro, because Tony Khan told him about it off the air and gave him information that's not communicated on TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brian Alvarez is at his wit's end right now.
Can we get Brian Alvarez
Hi,
on?
dude.
Eventually, we probably could.
He's not a junior member. He's not on fucking probation. He's a fucking member of LFI. So apparently he's conflicted. Does he not want to be in LFI? I mean, he did the fist. Does he want to be with Rod? Why would he want to be with Rod? None of this makes any sense whatsoever. And the guy speaks no English. So, like, how do they even communicate? He speaks Beast.
He speaks Beast.
It's like, and like Roddy's supposed to be a baby face, but he's being a dick to the Beast. But then, like, God, I hate this storyline.
So here's the story.
Am I missing anything?
The story of this specific match.
I got one more thing. So because this goes back to the match, forget everything I just talked about.
Let him cook.
Alvarez is he's on fire right now.
Just what we saw on television. So Beast is conflicted throughout the match. Okay. Well, he's conflicted again at the end, and he gets hit with a jumping knee and pin.
Yes, he does. All right.
So we have another.
Oh, okay. So now we're getting Dave. Now we're getting Dave in here.
That is teasing
a breakup. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So we're Russian.
Alvarez is ready to shoot, man.
He's sitting on the edge of his seat.
He's
waiting this old man's throat out. He's like, how nice do I have to play it so that I still get to take over the Observer when he dies?
If he goes, Dave, just listen to me, Dave. That's when you know he's had it.
Yeah. Because I do think eventually they are going to split over AEW.
And it's going to be nasty, bro.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to think Opie and Anthony was a walk in the park compared to Brian and Dave. I'm telling you.
Well, yes. Okay, now listen. I got infuriated the last time you tried to explain this to me.
Yeah.
Roderick Strong and the Beast Mortos.
Yeah,
the Beast Mortos he's just stricken. He's so sad.
He's so hung up on this. I love it.
He can't decide what he wants to do. Roderick Strong says,
he knows it's indefensible.
We needed you. Where were you when we needed you? And this Beast is conflicted. I'm like, why is this Beast conflicted? He's with LFI. Why would we care? Like, why does he want to be with Roderick Strong? We don't know. It's never been explained. They never even explained why he's called Frank. They just call him Frank. I'm just watching this thing, and because the story.
Well, everyone has a first name.
Oh my God!
Oh
Stop it!
Stop.
His gimmick is that he's a beast.
You blithering idiot! Stop.
Everyone has a first name.
Don't use it in wrestling all the time.
Because this story is
the guy is a beast. Doesn't it kind of kill the gimmick when all of a sudden you're like, hey, Frank?
Lawyer, too.
God help me.
You know he's a lawyer, right?
Listen to that!
They just don't
watch this thing. And because the story.
Well, everyone has a first name. They just don't use it in wrestling all the time.
Because this story is.
He's a lawyer, too.
God help me.
You know he's a lawyer.
Who cares, Dave? Oh my God!
God help me! He's like, he's a lawyer too. God help me!
Yep.
He's so fed up with this old man.
Yeah, he knows who he's dealing with now, and I think somebody has gotten to his ear. Outside influences, just like, hey man, Dave is just not it anymore, my friend. You're gonna have to.
The gymnastics that are being employed here to defend this.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I don't know used to be that because they never told us that.
Yeah, here we go.
No, I was just going to say, it used to be that Brian kind of stayed mum and let Dave rev up and all that.
Yeah,
now he's pushing back.
Angry, belligerent Brian Alvarez is my new favorite thing.
He used to be around.
He's a lawyer too.
God help me.
You know he's a lawyer, right?
I don't know he's a lawyer because they never told us that on television. I'm watching this angle where they presume that I know that he's like, what did you?
We have to isolate the God help me. That it's too good. It's too good.
Tell me that Tony said he's not officially an LFI. He's a what?
He's still being recruited by Roderick Strong in the Undisputed Kingdom.
Can you pause it, Marv, for just 1 second?
Yeah.
That is the problem with Dave Meltzer. Every answer he gives, almost every statement he says, he is so assured of himself. Like,
oh yeah.
Well, you didn't hear the conversation I had with Tony. This is what this is.
Ugh. And it's so condescending. I can't believe you're so stupid as to not be able to get this.
Unbelievable.
He's still being recruited by Roderick Strong in the Undisputed Kingdom.
Matter of fact,
I love that silence. That silence, because you could hear Alvarez stewing in that silence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
LFI, they're telling him to forget about this guy. So anyway, the Beast is so stricken with remorse or whatever that they have basically a shitty match.
Actually, I thought the match was pretty good.
Bro, by Roderick Strong Beast Mortos standards, they could have a match 500 times better than this.
They could have had a better
match. The whole match is Beast going, he can't decide what he wants to do. Yeah. I'm like, I know what I want you to do. Beat this guy's ass, and then he'll make a big comeback.
He was beating his ass. God. I mean, he was going pretty hard on him. Which to me made no sense. It's like, like Beast.
Yeah, Beast. You want to be in his group? Why are you beating his ass so bad?
Yeah, you want to be on our team, and then you have a. Well, if you don't, let's have a match. Like, wait, if you're recruiting him, why do you want to have a match with him?
I didn't like this match. Too much.
Hold on.
Rigmarole. I'm supposed to be in the middle of something with Roderick.
I love it. He just goes, I didn't like this match.
Mm-hmm. I bet you, Marv, Kev, if you and I, if all three of us were to watch this match that Dave Meltzer is saying was a good match, I bet you we would poo-poo all over it. And that should just tell you how out of touch Dave is with professional wrestling nowadays.
Hey, that's my line.
Yeah. Here's another one for you. Dave Meltzer calls historically low AEW Rampage rating almost inexplicable.
Can't explain it. Almost. He almost can't explain it.
I almost can't explain it because it's every reason other than the real reason that people just don't want to watch this. We're not even done. There's more.
Oh God.
Okay. My favorite. This one might be my favorite this week. Well, probably not my favorite, but it's good. So somebody said, in good faith question here, wasn't it a little bit about beating WWE programming, seeing as how the same genre, same group of key demos? I would think that the other show. So basically, they're saying NXT beat AEW, and he goes, "If I worked at TBS, I'd say that AEW won. WBD, when it does internal ratings, is based on the 18 to 49 as a percentage of homes that get the station. I've seen copies, yes, because I've got friends in TV." In the standings, how they would have it, which is the statistically fair way to look at it, it would be 0.39 to 0.38. But I don't work at TBS. What?
Talk about a fever dream tweet.
Father have mercy.
But then you get Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff goes, "But I don't work for TBS." Was your last set? So hold on. Him and Eric Bischoff had a
tete-a-tete.
Eric Bischoff responded by saying, "For obvious reasons."
Yeah.
I don't work at TBS. And he goes, sorry you missed that last sentence. Need a better attention span. His comebacks are the worst.
Yeah.
And then Eric goes, but I don't work at TBS was your last sentence. The fact is obvious, and the reason why is even more obvious. You clueless goof.
Why would Dave even bring up the fact if I worked at, okay, now make another tweet. If I worked at the CW, I would say NXT had the edge. Like, you don't get any sort of like, you get just completely biased for AEW. And a lot of people are starting to realize that Dave Meltzer is actually like almost putting AEW at a ruinous state, because his constant cheerleading for that company is backfiring almost at a rapid pace. I mean, didn't he have
even more stupid? It makes it look more stupid.
Yep. Janky.
All right, so here's another one.
There's more? Holy shit.
Yes. We're not done. WrestleVotes says, breaking. WWE has just announced that next year's Backlash will be hosted by Japan in the Tokyo Dome via Fightful.
Can I say something?
WrestleVotes is a parody account.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Awful.
It's very slick. But I must say, whoever did that graphic, it's beautiful.
Gorgeous.
I was just like, yo, they need to use that because it's so Japanese. I love it. But yeah, unfortunately, it's not happening, apparently.
He sees this.
Yeah.
And now 2025 Backlash will be at the Tokyo Dome. At 1:55.
Randy Marsh at the computer. See that logo.
At 1:55 p.m. And then at 2:04 p.m. goes, Backlash tweet was apparently a fake.
Yeah.
But you know what?
What was he trying to do there?
He was trying to be the first person to report it because that's his thing. He's got to be the first guy to the plate.
If you're not first, you're last.
Yeah. If you're not right, you're wrong. That's better.
Yeah. How about that?
Okay.
That's some binary stuff they don't want to hear about.
My voice is getting tired. I'm going to let Alfred tell us the rest of this story. Let's see what.
Dave Meltzer did it again and again. The stuttering sicko spent another whole weekend screwing up stories, and I'm having trouble keeping up because honestly, this so-called reporter is on a Hall of Fame run of fuck-ups. First, Dave reported that Nielsen is putting end to Fast Nationals, as if a global media data company has a vested interest in protecting AEW Twitter crybabies from preliminary numbers. The Fast 90s came out this weekend anyway, and Rampage was projected to do its lowest number ever. And guess what? Rampage ended up doing its lowest number ever. The .05 rating is pretty close to the numbers Rampage will be doing come 2025 when the show gets canceled. Dupable Dave then posted a fake story about WWE running Backlash at the Tokyo Dome, only to get backlash for saying Backlash will be at the Tokyo Dome. Nope. Stay tuned for my top 10 Meltzer mistakes of 2024. It's going to
I love that he's at the top 10 Meltzer mistakes of 2024.
Yeah.
I mean,
the time won't run out on those tweets. That's for damn sure.
My God.
But it's as I said, it's because Dave Meltzer feels inextricably woven into the fabric of AEW based on that answer that he gave to that WWE Life fan way back in 2018. Hey, man, can they sell out a stadium, 10,000 seat arena? Not anytime soon. And once they did it, he felt like, you know what? I was the catalyst for this. If I never saw that tweet, I believe AEW wouldn't be in existence. That's how big that man's ego is.
Oh my goodness. All right. So guys, I'm aghast that people give this guy money. He's a fraud. He's a charlatan. He's utterly untalented. And well, what else can you say? But
see,
that's Dave for you.
Tune in next week for an all new That's Dave for you.
Because there's always something. There's always something. All right. So before we get into everybody's favorite segment, the Mone Mag, we have to talk about one thing that she said.
10:30.
You're right. It is 10:30. I promised people the Mone Mag, though. You know what? We'll just talk about this Monet story, maybe, instead of that.
Yeah, give us the best. You know what? You should read her off her fan mail. Those are always interesting.
We can open with it next week. I won't complain. I will do it embarrassed.
All right, we'll open with it next week. But here, I just need to point out something she said. All right,
please.
Do your best not to. This is from Machiavelli. Do your best not to laugh uncontrollably. Mercedes Moné said, "Quote: I'm not the greatest women's wrestler ever. I'm the greatest wrestler. When you think of John Cena, The Rock, or Kenny Omega, first of all, why are you putting Kenny Omega with John Cena and The Rock? I won't stop until people are thinking of Mercedes Moné in the same light." Well, you're 1/3 of the way there, lady, because you're already in the same category as Kenny Omega.
I can't believe she said that. There must be too much dye going into those, into that wig.
The unmitigated ego on this woman. My God. I
know it's debatable, but the best female wrestler I've seen on a consistent basis, I mean, are like 2 or 3. Medusa was awesome. Molly Holly was so effing underrated. Yeah. It was almost like it would make me mad when I'd see her on the screen, and how she would attack the mat like no other woman did at that time. I mean, and third, Asuka, but she kind of fell off a little bit with me. But yeah, I mean, come on, Sasha, you're nowhere near. Stop thinking that you are one of the greats. You're just not. No, you know, if you did a little math, you would see that you weren't.
So some super chats before we get into the New Jack promo of the week. John Williams, $4.99 says, if anyone takes Dave's word serious or thinks he's a good person after this week, then congrats. I got a bridge to sell you. It's true. It's true. Who could possibly think that he is a serious journalist after this week? What a terrible, terrible week. Like, the only person worse at their job than Dave Meltzer is Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the other K.
Who's the other K?
The one that lost some popularity vote last Tuesday.
Oh, no. Alejandro Melendez for $1.99 says Bianca is fine as hell. Awful needs an eye exam. Did you say Bianca?
Who said that? No, I didn't say anything like that. I like Bianca Belair. I just said that she may not be the person to train Jade Cargill. She may not have it in her. She may not be. She may not be a good coach. She might be a great, phenomenal wrestler. I've seen many people that flub up, helping somebody else because they're not used to that. And let's get real. Bianca Belair is not like some veteran herself. You know what I mean? Like she was given a lot of.
She's been around for a minute. She's been around for a while.
Yeah. But to the point where she's going to take somebody super green and coach them and teach them. The only thing that she's going to teach them, and I hate to be the one to say it, but how to conduct yourself in the back in the locker room. That's why she's paired up with her. Maybe. She ain't going to be with Io Sky on that one. You know what I mean?
John Williams for $4.99 says Cornette used to be friendly with Dave until he found out Dave was back talking to him in his forums at the same time. Yeah, we all lived that one in real time. Dave was just nonstop. Like Cornette used to kind of shrug off all of Dave's nonsense by just going, "Well, weed's legal in California."
Yeah, right.
And then Dave couldn't handle the fact that Cornette was not agreeing with him about who the best wrestlers were in the world. And he was counteracting Dave's take on who the next guys were, because he was all in on Omega and the Bucks, and Cornette was all against them. And because of that, he just started going at him until finally Jim just had enough. And he was like, "You're done. I'm done with you." Liga J81 for $2 says TK and Dave treats AEW like Super Smash Brothers.
Great game, by the way.
Fantastic game. Way better than watching AEW. Have you ever watched competitive Super Smash Brothers, like actual like tournaments?
Now I'm hooked. Now you've got to tell me more because I love video game tournaments.
They're on YouTube. You can find them, and there's commentators, and like they're calling it like it's a wrestling match. I am enthralled by this. I love watching competitive professional Super Smash Brothers is a thing that I never knew that I needed in life.
Dude, I was just watching a marathon of Ultimate Tag, and I was just like, I can't believe this thing is a thing. It was awesome. I watched about 2 hours of it while I was working. I was just hooked. I loved it.
Finally, John JD for $199 for $199 says, "I wish I never learned about AEW. I'd be more happy."
Dude, John, get out of your funk, bro.
You wouldn't be here with all your friends,
right?
Yes. Okay. All right, guys, you ready for some New Jack before we end for the week?
Hell yeah!
All right, let's get to the New Jack promo of the week from Smoky Mountain Wrestling on 9/24/1994. Here we go.
Bob Cottle and the Gangsters.
All right, lads, here they are. New Jack Mustafa, the Gangsters.
Oh my God! All right, so we're starting off here. We're starting off with a noose.
Listen,
Mustafa screaming, "It's gonna be a hanging tonight."
Subverting expectations. Love it.
Fantastic.
Cotton. He threw cotton in the air. I love it.
They brought props for this promo.
Exactly. They did the carrot top.
Yeah, they're doing a carrot top routine.
I'd
love to see the Rock and Roll Express in the back being like, "No."
Yeah.
we would never do that.
What? Hoots, what are they saying? I don't know, Monkey. Why does that one have a rope?
It's that Ricky Gibson's fault.
They know it's a work, right? I don't think so. We're gonna borrow you for a little while.
I love it.
Listen,
man. You know what always trips me out? I think about like after this promo is done, and New Jack goes right up to Robert Gibson or Ricky Morton and goes, "How'd I do? Was that too much?" Like, and you can hear like Ricky Morton, "Listen here, Daddy. Maybe next time you might want to say this or say that." Like getting New Jack is under the learning tree of the Rock and Roll Express. It always trips me out.
While Jim Cornette is just back to pouring kerosene on the fire.
Yeah,
and counting the money that's rolling in from this angle.
He's the one that bought the Cottonelle balls. Like,
oh yeah,
here, use these.
He definitely he bought the rope too. I guarantee you.
Yeah. No, he just got that from the backyard.
Why do they keep bringing it to this place?
Well, we now know that New Jack was FBA.
Oh my God! To beat his wife?
You fight, Smack. You fight wife. Your fat white wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He tried to say fat white at the same time. He said fight.
Botch.
I was gonna get to talk this time, Jack.
Yeah. Hey, Bob, pass me the mic. I'm trying to lay down a hot verse.
You're gonna get boogies on it, Mustafa. No.
John JD 999 for 199 says New Jack explaining the accurate history of music.
It all started with a white man on top of a hill in Kentucky. With a banjo in his hand.
Somewhere little Richard stood up and applauded for no reason. He didn't know why. He just had the urge to start screaming and clapping.
For some reason, Mark Merrow did it at the same time. Johnny may not be bad, but he sure be gay.
The views of the Yellow Dog aren't necessarily those of World Championship Wrestling. I don't think that clip is on the network, by the way.
What, the Johnny may not be bad clip?
It's not on Peacock. It was on the network. It's not on Peacock.
Yeah, not shocked by that. All right, gentlemen. Anything else we have to do? I mean, we did. My voice is so tired right now. I don't think I can handle the Mone Mag.
We did so much today. Unfortunately,
really
a lot of it was Dave, but we got a lot done.
Yeah. People are calling for it in the chat.
Those guys.
Let's do it.
We got to do a little bit of it.
All right. Well,
I'm telling you, the fan fiction is great.
I may be punched out because Duke is up and needs medicine, so I may have to tag in.
That's fine. All right. So let's see what it says here. All right. From the desk of the CEO, hey, Mone makers. It's been another crazy week. We talked tequila, travel with friends, travel when friends wrestle, tag teams, and gear. But first, a quick reminder to the press. When crediting us, remember we are Mone Mag, your go-to digital magazine. We are not a newsletter. And secondly, we got a great response on wrestlers' side hustles from Prince Nana's Coffee to Sonia's Donut Shop. If you're a wrestler with a side hustle or even a fan of a great one, let our editors know so we can feature it and spread the love. All right, now, let's talk Mone. By the way, you are a newsletter. You are 100% a newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
What are we looking at here?
Hey, I see a snack, if you ask me. You know, that's the thing about Mone. Like, while she's terrible in the ring, she really knows. She's very photogenic, and she's not quite the type that I would be going for. But you know, she works with what she has.
Do we care about her talking about tequila? No. Right.
If you can pronounce that, how's that said? Alaska.
So
okay,
I can't.
Oh, is that her without her makeup? Go up a little bit there, bro.
Well, she's a pretty girl without makeup on.
Yeah, I mean, come on now, Mercedes. You don't got to do too much. I mean, well.
When I first landed, I saw a poster for CMLL. So I texted Rocky to see if I could make an appearance. It was right down the street from the hotel that I was staying at. But Rocky didn't get back to me because he pretended that he wasn't home. Oh, no, because he was in Japan. And I needed him to get in. So Rocky, be warned, I will punch you next time I see you because I really wanted to make a surprise appearance at CMLL. Oh my God. Are you allowed to make a surprise appearance at CMLL? You're a contracted wrestler to another company. Do you just not care?
And who's Rocky in the first place?
I don't know.
She really knows how to lay down the context, doesn't she?
Yeah, we got Day of the Dead. Oh, here we go. The Mone top 5 travel hacks. When you travel as much as I do, you need to have hacks and tricks to make things go smoother. With that, I bring you this week's Mone top 5 travel hacks. TSA pre-check, global entry and clear, anything and everything to get you through the airport as quickly and conveniently as possible. She's actually right on that one. TSA pre-check is a godsend. Not to be at the airport at all. What? I don't like getting there early. I want to walk through and get straight on the plane. Yeah, that's not a thing. Anyone, do not take this advice, people. Get to the airport 2 hours before your flight, please.
Yeah. That hasn't been a thing since September 10th, 2001.
What? Lady? You get there like 10 minutes till your takeoff time. Just like show up and be like, hi, I'm Mercedes Mone. And they just let you on the plane. Wait, bring a water bottle and a snack. No, do not bring a water bottle. You can't bring it through security.
Make sure you have a long fuse hanging out of the back of your sneakers.
What the hell? Make sure, look, at the end of the day, the TSA, they just really want you to give them the attitude. They'll respect you for it. So just be like really belligerent about everything. What if you bring a water bottle?
Travel with a box cutter. What's happening?
What if you have to get a package where you're going? You don't want to break your long nails.
Walk in there with a big ball that says TNT on it.
Bring a bottle of water, or at least one you can refill. Okay, yeah, refill it in like the bathroom with bathroom water or something.
Yep.
I also pack snacks. Who wants to pay $10 for a bottle of water at the airport or waste money on airport food? I like airport food. It's part of the joy of travel. Clear plastic
barbecue in O'Hare once.
Yeah,
I can't remember where it was, but it was good.
Clear plastic bags. I put everything I need into clear bags. It makes it so easy. Yes, you have to do this, don't you?
Yes.
Like, isn't this a thing like for liquids? Like, you have to have them in clear plastic bags?
Yes.
It's this thing that I do. I also just really don't like shoes, so I choose to take my shoes off when I go through security. Like, this is not optional, lady. Oh my God. From chargers to headphones, essential so you don't hear your neighbor, to my makeup. I bring as much as possible that's travel size so my suitcase doesn't burst. Again, you have to bring things that are travel size. That's why they're called travel size.
He's adult.
Satin pillowcase. I always bring my own because you never know where those airplane pillowcases have been. Plus, it's really good for my hair. What? A satin pillowcase? Yeah, everyone bring your satin pillowcase with you.
Is she wearing a bonnet there, Kev?
Of course she is.
Oh, I hope not.
Okay, I know
that's
this
not
is
a
a list
conversation we're gonna have here. We demonetized immediately.
Oh, I thought you meant a wig cap because she's always wearing the wig. Oh, okay. No, now I know what you mean. You're talking about like what Sexy Red was wearing in the airplane fight.
Yes.
In the airport fight?
Yeah.
Okay, I know this is a list of 5, but one other thing, depending on how long the flight, determines if I want an aisle or a window. More than 4 hours, aisle. That way I can get up and go to the bathroom willingly as much as I want. Wait, willingly? Are you going to the bathroom unwillingly a lot?
Yeah, probably.
All those stops in the Vince's office.
Yeah.
She refills those water bottles.
Less than 4 window seat. That's where I can rest my head against the window. Oh my God.
Is she trying to say that she doesn't do first class? Is that what I'm hearing?
She 100% does first class. There's no way she doesn't.
She's like, I'm trying to be like the plebs.
Yeah,
tell you some hacks.
Look, she's actually talking about an AEW wrestler. Yeah. She's actually talking about an AEW wrestler here, which is rare. Talking about ring gear, essentially. All right, we get it. Who wears it best outside the ring?
Those were ugly.
Yeah.
There's only like 2 other girls who actually have good ring gear anyway. What does this go call them? The Kmart divas?
This is all just vapid nonsense this week.
Hold on, let's get another picture. You got to scroll up a little bit. I saw some leg. Get her off the screen.
Wrestling a friend. Wrestling with a friend is honestly the best. It's where you get to learn the most about your in-ring skills to do and try and test things. I mean, sometimes when you start to wrestle a friend, like they're not a friend by the end of it because like their name is Paige and you broke their neck and didn't apologize.
Thank you for not being a friend.
Do.
When you wrestle with a friend, you never have to apologize if you hit them too hard because you know you're still their girl at the end of the day, except for when you break their neck.
Broke your neck in two.
Wait a second. Women are friends with each other?
No. That is a myth.
Yeah.
That is a myth that has been disproven.
Each and every day.
Yes. Men, we know how to be friends. This is when you get to sit down and talk about the emotion, passion, and drive you want to get out of your matches. Yeah, but like in another article on this, she's going to be like, I go in there and fight and have to beat these bitches up. Like I hate that she goes from work to shoot, work to shoot, work to shoot constantly. These conversations only happen when you wrestle a friend, not a non-friend or coworker. What? They're all your coworkers, first of all.
What?
This is why she's not getting better. She's not working with non-friends or coworkers. You're not professional enough, broad.
Yeah. So is that why all your AEW matches have been terrible? Because you have not one friend in that locker room?
Yep.
With them, you go out and try to have your best match. The talk isn't that deep. No one in the AEW locker room wants to hear about my crystals. Sometimes I have to call Bailey to talk about it.
You know what's funny? I just spent the last 2 weeks screaming at wrestlers because all they want to do is wrestle their friends.
Well, apparently that's all she wants to do too. Wrestling against Bailey. From the moment I met Bailey, we had this instant connection. Like, I just knew that she was going to do everything that I tell her to do. We loved wrestling in the same genuine way and became best friends instantly. I think she's my greatest opponent of all time because we are best friends and she does whatever I tell her to do. When I get to try the moves that I wanted to try, Bailey gets it. Her love, passion, and drive for wrestling like mine has us trying to bring out the best in what I get it. You like Bailey.
Yeah, really.
Wrestling
now here's the one I'm interested in. Wrestling a non-friend.
Working with someone
I call
you
Jen
don't
Peppermint.
Like. Yeah. So wrestling with Bailey, wrestling with everyone who's not Bailey,
right?
Because literally everyone who's not Bailey is her enemy. Working with someone you don't like has its upsides and downsides. Like, let's say you're wrestling a non-friend. We'll just call her, I don't know, Grit Naker. The downside is that it's just not fun. It's not fun to put together a match with someone you don't get along with. It can be really frustrating, actually. But on the other hand, the upside is when you get down to your match and you put it together, you lock up with this person with more aggression because they like piss you off. No, stop it.
Yeah, give me a break.
I've worked with a lot of people that I don't like. Yeah, everyone that's not Bailey. Some of the opponents that I don't like working with bring out the best in me. Back to the downside element, some are just so bland. I wonder if they even like wrestling. They don't make suggestions. They don't like to bump. It's aggravating to put a match together with an opponent who doesn't do everything I tell them to do. I enjoy the intense interaction when you get into the ring with someone you don't like to work with them. No matter what, at the end of the day, as a professional, you must be on the best performance you can for our paid audience and even our fans at home. She's so fake.
So aside from Britt Baker, she's obviously talking about like girls like Alexa Bliss. I'm trying to think that I think there might have been one more she didn't really appreciate. I don't think she really appreciated working with Charlotte. That's just me, though.
No, because Charlotte's better. Because Charlotte's better than her.
Yeah.
Despite what Arn Anderson said in the NXT locker room, Charlotte is better than her. Even if there's go ahead.
I feel like if you read this for too long, you go crazy like Colonel Kurtz, and then you just want to just start asking people if they're assassins. I feel like we're just on that long ride, that long river ride down on Apocalypse now. It's just not going to stop.
Even if there is animosity, there must be respect for me. You have to respect me. I don't have to respect you. Wrestling is dangerous. Even if you have a little animosity or dislike someone, you must still respect them and what they do in the ring. Protecting each other when we perform and put on a match is essential. You never want to hurt anyone except for, when it happens, like when you break their neck. Everyone catches flights the next day and goes home to their families. We do this every single day. Wait, so every single day you wrestle and then get a flight and go home to your family? No, you don't. So at the end of each one, you must have respect for what you do with your opponent, whether you like them or not. And if they break your neck, you gotta be like, let it go, lady. Like, let it go and lose to me in AEW already. I don't think my voice can hold on.
If you've given the people what they wanted, we can finish this next week.
Yes.
I feel like
He's got a lot of information that I wanted you to scroll up. I saw that she said Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler was one of her favorite tag teams.
What? I feel like Luke Skywalker at the end of Last Jedi. I'm looking at my light, trying not to disappear and leave this earthly coil.
It's the second paragraph. Yeah, it was the second paragraph underneath. But holy cow!
Let's just get to the last of the super chats and then we'll be done. John J 8999 for 199. She says she just copied from Delta's website and hit send. That's true, except for the fact that Delta would not tell you to get there right before your flight. Folks, please, for the sake of my for the sake of me worrying about you, get to the airport early. Bring a book. We live in the greatest age of all. Bring an iPad, bring your phone or something like that. Watch TV. You know what my people are gonna like rag on me for this, but my airport show was Young Sheldon. I would catch up on when I was flying constantly. I would watch Young Sheldon at the airport. It would be a couple episodes of it until I was on the plane. Alejandro Melendez for 199. Who looks better, Jakara Jackson or Monet?
Great question. I've got an answer for it.
Okay, what's your answer?
Jakara Jackson, just by a hair.
JPS for $5 says, wait a minute. Sasha versus Ronda was a good match. Does that mean they're friends? It would explain so much. There is no way. There's no earthly way that Mercedes Moné and Ronda Rousey are friends.
Misery.
No way.
I was just about to say that, Kev.
Crazy doesn't love crazy.
I think Ronda Rousey confided in Sasha Banks on the sole aspect of like we really have to do this. And I can hear Sasha going, yeah, we really got to do it. I mean, I'm trying to get out of here too. Because I see these bitches coming up on me. I see this Becky Lynch. She's about to surpass me. And just go like they probably had like some Merlot and
they had the
bitch to each other in the hotel.
Do you know who I hate? Vince McMahon.
Yeah. Oh, here's what you got to do, honey. You got to
friends. Nope.
Yeah. Just thank Mr. McMahon every time you're on Twitter. That'll really piss him off. That's what they do. Catty felines.
Alejandro Melendez for 199 says The Last Jedi. Never heard of it. Good for you. Good for you. All right, gentlemen. I think we're about done for this week. I want to thank our wonderful audience. I want to thank everybody that super chatted, everybody that chatted, everybody that just came in and watched and didn't say anything. You guys are the reason we keep doing this. So thank you so much for being here with us. Awful. Where can folks find out more about what you're up to?
You can find me on Blue Skies smiling at me. I'm on Blue Sky now, folks. So all of you AEW fans, you just better watch out. I'm also on X, AEW FUL Wrestling. You can check me out there every Tuesday at 8 p.m. on Tooney Talk Wrestling. Right here, right now. And thank you guys for having me on.
Of course. And a big thanks to our friend AEW Neckbeards, the producer of this show, man in the chat and running his own show in the chat every single week for you guys. Thank you very much, AEW Neckbeards. We appreciate you here and we acknowledge you, my friend. Kevin Apollo, what do you got going on?
Let's see. I have some stuff I need to record for you this week. I found it a little difficult to juggle everything we had going on and do some of the other commitments I had. But
it sucks, doesn't it?
I'll smash out a lamp for you. The event. Why don't you guys
welcome to my world, bitch?
Why don't you guys follow me on Twitter and help me break out of the Twitter jail. Like I'm under the jail.
You know what would be
Oh,
great,
my
Kev,
goodness.
if last week while you were like, just hammered with all the stuff you had to do, if a bunch of mouth breathers just started yelling at you about the things you're not doing.
Well, I did have a show.
Oh
so
God! Hey, Kev, I thoroughly enjoyed your 22-second broadcast the other week.
So, yeah, what happened? Did you try to start the members only stream through Tooney Town Wrestling?
I don't know what I was.
That's exactly what you did. Because I was like, why did he go live for 22 seconds? And then I turned it on and I was like, I X'd out of it.
I clicked on something. I'm like, what is this? And then all of a sudden it was on the wrestling. I'm like, why is it doing this? Stop.
Yeah.
I was like,
my wife felt so bad for you, bro. She felt so bad.
I was like, how did this happen? I literally set this up so all you had to do was push a button.
I just, sometimes these fat fingers and mouse pads don't want to work with each other.
The world is not built for men your size. What else you got going on, buddy?
Nothing really. Be hanging out with you guys on a Thursday, and then I'm Thursday and Friday, and then other than that, I'm keeping it nice and mellow until Christmas vacation, where we'll do Santa Slam 2, December 28th, live from the Haverstraw Community Center.
Yes, and what Kev was talking about Thursday night is Tooney Talk TV, a live stream movies and TV review podcast with Marvin the Movie Monster, Kevin Apollo, and our friend Trish, who
I thought that was Aubrey Edwards. Holy cow!
No, don't you dare!
No, she's now. Listen, I was just about to say she's very, very good looking. I'm surprised you have good looking people on your show, Marv.
Hey, it happens once in a while. But you can join us, guys. It's me, Kevin Apollo. Lou Wasserman's Ghost drops in every once in a while and drops some F-bombs.
That old curmudgeon.
We usually got Martin Stone, the one and only Lorne Connor, Nolan Thunder, Spencer Bakuli. So we've got a great show over there every Thursday night at 8 p.m. So tune in, guys.
Hey guys, like, share, follow. YouTube was playing funny last week, and some people were unsubscribed, or we got lost in the algorithm shuffle. So make sure that you are subscribed. If you are subscribed, click the bell so you get the notifications. Share it out there so that your friends can see it, and most importantly, give us the likes. We need the likes.
Yeah, man, hit that damn like button. Come on now, right before we get out of here, just start hitting the like button, okay? Hit it once, so if you hit it twice, it goes away.
And of course, guys, also please, I invite you guys to check out thatparkplace.com, where I am the editor-in-chief and I'm running the writing team over there, and we are constantly putting up articles for you guys. I think we had 5 different posts today, including an op-ed from Culture Casino. That is really a must-read. He did a really good job about how citizens are the media now, and legacy media is dead. A bunch of articles from me. WW Pro writes articles. Nolan Thunder writes them, and we're going to have so many more coming up in the future as we continue to build our writing team over there. So make sure you check out and bookmark thatparkplace.com for all the news that should be fun. All right.
I watched my video with Hangry.
Yes, and if you are a member over on WW Pro's channel, Kevin Apollo just did a membership spotlight. I purposely gifted 5 memberships during the Pro Show today, and I said it was specifically so that people can watch you and Hangry. And then Pro said, he goes, oh, yeah, that's right. Kevin Apollo got the chair this week. And everybody was like, what? And I was like, it was bound to happen sooner or later. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you guys next week right here. By the way, when's the next AEW pay-per-view? Is it coming up?
Who gives a shit?
I do, because we have to go live during it.
I think it's next week. It's the week before or after Survivor Series. When Survivor Series? It's it's right there in the chat. 23rd.
Or when 23rd. All right. Yeah. Well, we're going to be live on the 23rd for that AEW pay-per-view, guys. So make sure you tune in for us with that. We're also going to be live for Survivor Series. So make sure you're here with us. Make sure you're keeping it right here on Tooney Town Wrestling. All right. For Kevin Apollo, for Dis, for Awful, I'm Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here.
Now, bury the platypus, feel the wrath of my thank you-inator! Thank you, you piece of trash.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you! Oh, I suppose you want me to say thank you. Well, you know what? Saying thank you is like jobbing.
Thank you!
I got a little message. Thank you. Ooh, yeah.
Oh, thank you! Oh, thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you!
Thanks? For what? Hi-ho from all of us here at Tooney Town. Thank you!
And viewers like you. Thank you.